This shit.
No,
website.
no download necessary.
Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, I got you. Sorry to rob you guys of my beautiful face.
Hey,
Thanks for the
we'll
heads
be able
up.
to see you soon.
Oh, yo, how's it going?
Yo.
What's up?
What's up? Else anything? Any decent shows or movies recently?
I've been playing Lost Ark.
Is it good?
It's fun.
If you got Hulu, I just started up watching The Strain, which was like a vampire kind of show. 4 seasons, came out back in like 2011, that kind of time frame. It's pretty good if you're into the subject. All the actors and actresses are pretty good. My easiest recommendation is if you've got HBO Max, I would tell you to watch True Detective, the first season with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. Okay, I haven't heard of that. I have to check it out. Yeah, that's an easy recommendation. Okay. I haven't watched anything recently.
Have you guys played Vampire Survivor?
That's that kind of 2D scroller, right?
Yeah, it's so fun. It's like the best game of the year.
Yeah, I actually haven't had that one yet.
It's like $3. It's worth $3.
So yeah. I always like to hear like that. These cheaper indie games that are usually made by like 1 or 2 developers. I don't know if that's the case for this one, but like I always like hearing about that kind of success.
For $3, like you're getting your money's worth for sure.
Yeah. Cool fucking deal.
I highly recommend.
What's it like? What's a game that is like it?
It's like a roguelike, almost like I don't know how to describe it. It's just, bro, $3.
Yeah, it's just $3, bro. Just $3. Just buy the fucking game, okay? Just stop asking questions and buy the game.
It's not quite like a platformer, so I think I understand. I haven't played it. I've only kind of seen it, but so I can understand its difficulty in trying to like describe it.
It's hard to describe. It's just like just buy the game.
Just buy the game. All right. Sold.
There you
go. Be a professional salesman.
There you go. Oh, lovely.
We all got our cameras here? You know what? I gotta set mine up.
Whoops.
So the first time I had ever heard of StreamYard or used it at all was like literally the 5 minutes ago when he told me to turn on my camera. And my Facebook feed is now advertising StreamYard for me.
Yeah.
I love it.
Algorithm.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Kind of weird. Kind of fucking weird.
This is the right room, right? For being fucking.
Yep.
We're going on? Okay. I gotta go change up. I got new headphones today. I gotta make sure they're all working right.
You do need to go into the group that he threw us in, the small council. and then go to StreamYard. That's what we're going to be using instead of Discord.
Okay.
Do you mean like news wise, or just kind of like
In the world.
there was the whole Amir Locke situation that was kind of like infuriating.
What was that?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I
delivery
didn't hear
of
about it.
a no-knock search warrant.
When did that happen?
Was it 2 weeks ago? Second or fourth? Yes. I guess my boy. Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
my
I'll
boy
just
Google could help me out.
continue talking. Oh yeah, I heard of that.
Wait, you're talking about the one in I forgot where the city was, but like the no knock warrant that
Minneapolis.
yeah, it's the same thing. No, he's dead. He didn't make it.
Yep.
Wait, there's
Welcome-
another one? Are you
Welcome
fucking
to the
kidding me?
United States.
What the are you serious? Yo.
Girl. Oh, I thought it was
fuck?
okay. Well, no, I still didn't hear about that.
Anybody? Yeah. Kodak Black. Does he spell it with a K?
He's a good rapper. I like his songs.
Is he? I can't say I ever heard of him.
Me neither.
Great rapper. I mean, he's a rapper.
One of the greatest.
he indeed does the
favorite.
rapping.
You don't like Kodak Black? You don't like Kodak Black?
I have one of the songs he was on. I've only heard one song that he was on. It wasn't his song. He was featured on that song, and I wasn't. It didn't inspire me to look into his discography. I'll just leave it at that.
I love Kodak Black. Go ahead.
Oh,
The rogue community.
could you like hit me with like a link to one of his songs? As he is, as we speak about him being shot. Ah, savage.
Hey, Dustin, could you actually no, you're here. Never mind. Who am I missing here? On my screen.
Brento.
Brento.
Wait. Oh, you can't
Yeah.
see me?
No, you gotta do the thing. StreamYard.
Click the button. Oh.
The
Oh,
link.
okay.
The link like
The
you
link,
usually do.
brah.
You're not new here. What the fuck?
I know. Well, actually, I haven't been here in a while. Not for something official.
But I invite Brento all the time. But in any case, yeah. I mean, the song was okay. It's just, I mean, he was okay.
What
It
song?
was just,
It was no
I can't-
Mozart. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Why do you think it would have to be a pop song for me?
Because Prime, you're kind of a loser, dude, and we do not expect you to know shit about like pop culture references. You're barely ever on Twitter. Come on. Am I right or am I right, guys? Someone back me up here.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I
In there. On backstage. There we go.
I know
In the game.
I
I like.
I
Porter
think
Robinson.
I've been listening to
Oh,
Rammstein.
I've
I'm
been
not gonna lie.
listening to
I've
a lot of
been
Samuel
doing
Kim
that.
and the AOT remix that he's doing. It's pretty fucking awesome.
You never heard of
Yeah.
Rammstein? They're like the crazy industrial rockers with like the flamethrowers on stage. Like
Vampire Weekend.
and they had like a
So like Huey Lewis and the News, like that kind of older rock, or do you mean like kind of like more stadium rock? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Huey Lewis and the News is yeah, is pretty good. The Who? Yeah, yeah, yeah. AC/DC. I yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. No,
so.
good.
Yeah, I guess we'll just get started. I think the song that I was referring to was "Drowning," and I
It's a good song.
I don't think so. Is that the name? I forget the name of the main artist.
You don't,
But what'd you say?
you don't like it?
It's. I mean, I have it. I have the song in my music collection. It's just I don't know. It's just like I like the rapping is like I have the song because the beat is good.
Mhm.
But like the rapping over it is mediocre at best from both of them. I'm sorry. Like do better. Like,
I mean, I like the title of the first one that I googled, "Grinding All Season." Like, I think
mm,
I could obviously get behind that.
yeah. Yeah,
Kind
you
of
get that
grinding.
too, right? Like that's
Yeah,
so LJ Steele, so ass, right? That part so like, do better. Do better.
dude,
I'm
that's
sorry.
gotta fucking. Isn't that shit like heavy? His hair?
Oh my bad.
Oh, his hair? Probably
Yeah,
not. Probably
you don't
not.
think? Yeah.
Wiggle is in here. Our friend Wiggle. He has heavy hair.
Oh,
Not Kodak Black. But okay. So I will get started. We'll get cracking. Yeah. So hello all. This is the Small Council, which we have Saturdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we're actually getting started at a reasonable time, which is unfucking believable, right? Um, so if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. Right. Also, consider becoming a YouTube member by hitting that join button. That's how we support this community. Like, if you appreciate having these VODs available to you daily, all right, like content all the time, all right, constantly, then help us out. Help us maintain that YouTube channel and consider becoming a YouTube member by hitting that join button. Thank you so much. All right. I'm going to introduce our amazing individuals who are going to be part of this discussion. Start with Mad Latin. Oof, God, I am so happy. I'm so happy to have him again, right? Look at this handsome face. Okay, guys, everyone. Look at this guy's handsome face, all right? Like he's he's so great. Look, there you go, right?
oh,
Look
yeah.
at all
Full
that.
Do you have
blown.
a
Yeah.
mic
Look at
upgrade?
that.
Yeah.
wait, what?
Did you have a mic upgrade? I remember you were like,
Yeah.
you were
Oh, yeah, no, I got this thing.
Okay.
We'll talk about it. It's been a while, it's been a minute. Went from 0 to 100, you see, actually. So I was
Yeah.
I've been doing like next to nothing.
All that chess
Right?
money.
Yeah, with all my chest. But no, so what we got going on, I'm at 0 to 100 in terms of like what I'm going to be doing online. You see, I've been like, it's kind of like doing my own little streaming here and there, just hanging out. And now we're doing it all. And I'm going to actually do this in ASMR because I got this new mic. I'm going to practice it. Okay. So just bear with me here. I'm glad that Prime's got me blown up because it's going to be really, we're going to test this out.
Right.
So you just kind of like lean into the mic a little bit like this.
Oh
right?
no, don't do it. Don't do it.
No, okay, right. So you just lean into the mic like this. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. And then we're just gonna start talking like this. We're gonna like kind of purr into the mic. So on Monday, I've got a
It's like feels
Valentine's
inappropriate.
Day alignment chart panel on my stream, so you guys should check that out. On Tuesday,
Children shouldn't be
something
watching this.
Bosch is moderating, something cool. So I'm gonna be doing that. Wednesday, I got a dating and relationship show. You might see me do more of this. Thursday something I forgot what I was gonna do. Doesn't matter. Friday and Saturday I've got some Calipian Club AMAs I set up. You guys should check that out. Follow my tweets. If you look at my Twitter, you'll see all these things I'm doing. And then on Sunday, the most important thing, actually, I'm not even going to ASMR it because it's this important. I am actually helping Tech Jess launch her Twitch show. If you don't know who Tech Jess is, she is the person who led the workers' walkouts at Blizzard when all the crazy shit was happening during the summer. So we're friends and we're working on a show and we're launching that show on Sunday. So you should check that out too. That's a big deal. That's the one that's really important, but all that other stuff too. So follow me on Twitter. So, especially if you like this. If this was nice, you want to see more of this, you know?
I really thought you were going to do something different with that, but okay, that's fine.
I mean, what was I supposed to do? How do you do this? Do I just like lick it? Like,
Can't you
No.
pull it
Right.
down so you're not
so
stretching?
we're going to Black American Maid, who knows the proper way to treat a mic, to take it out to dinner phrase before that shit. So Black American Maid, thanks for being here as well, buddy.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like at this point, actually, let's see. No, I think Redhead Man, you're the only one I haven't met here, but at least at some point. But yeah, should be fun, interesting topic. Yeah, no, I don't know where like all the Prime always gets this type of info, but like it's always something like, oh wow, that would be cool to talk about. So yeah, Black American Made, follow my stuff, and y'all didn't follow my Twitter. I still need 4 followers for 1,000.
You said you were a lazy shit, right? I told you you could put it in chat, and you didn't. And you're like, "Oh, I'm too lazy for that." Well, okay. Well, I guess they're too lazy to find you. Like,
5 people.
Okay.
Come on.
that
too
was
bad.
a Twitch. Hold on.
Robeman is here with us. Robeman, thanks for being here. Nice to see you again in the robe. If not, then I don't know what I would do with you. Just call you man, I guess. But Robeman, how are you?
I'm good. Earlier today we had a relationship stream. We did a charcuterie board, top down. I was shilling my wife's charcuterie stuff, so check that out. It was cool.
Yeah, sorry about that. I did not know I was muted. Appreciate it though.
A little aggressive, so I'm coming in here to chill out.
Okay. What the fuck is charcuterie? Am I supposed to know that?
You know what
Well,
charcuterie is?
it's the discourse. It's the discourse that got absolutely ruined by the the discourse. I can't say it. Like the Ritz discourse.
So
The same
Prime,
discourse that the flatbread, but they're like,
If you like-
it's like
if
very
you like
crunchy.
What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Flatbread.
It's some sort of unleavened bread.
It's
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Usually
you
with
like
salt on it.
saltines, if
Usually
you
You
will.
like saltines
No,
There you go.
No,
and
and cheese. It's that and
meat-
cheese.
Yeah, it's kind of like a chip, but a little thicker.
no,
Yeah.
no. Charcuterie is like you have like meats and cheese and berries and stuff. It's like a grazing table.
and that other word too, very important.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the Ritz thing.
Like on a platter.
Well, okay, a charcuterie, proper charcuterie wouldn't have like a Ritz cracker though. That's like the cheap. Ah,
Whoa, get this guy out of here.
Dude,
Get him
not
out of here.
cool.
No,
That's
absolutely
not cool.
no.
It's not
What's
cool.
going
It's
on?
not cool.
Did I miss something? I feel like
I missed something too. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I had no idea what just happened.
never
Okay.
felt.
Well,
Andrew, my guy, what's going on? Pretty good day. Did nothing, which is this is like my only day of the week. I kind of get to chill, so got to do that. Caught up on some TV shows. Nothing major. How you been?
It truly was.
and the best part was watching Captain A. Joseph's reaction.
Yeah.
when the spittle hit the middle of the camera, I
Oh my
lost it.
god!
That was the
Dave.
point where I couldn't breathe anymore.
And it stayed to hang out the entire time.
It stayed there the entire time.
Yes. So good. You can't write this kind of stuff.
It was too good. It was too good. Captain A. Jones, though, thank you for coming back with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. I'm Captain A. Jones, not a captain, not an A, not a Jones. I am the new proud host of my new show, Pothead Politics. It's politics, kind of like the news, but done by a pothead. I know. The name it needs a little bit of work, but it's at 2 p.m. every Thursday and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. So that's fun. PST because I'm on the West Coast. And yeah, thanks for having me. I dabble a little bit in this, so I'm interested to get into this topic.
Badass.
Let's go to Brento Box.
Hello.
Brento Box, and a great member of our community, longtime member of our community. You've been here for like ever, Brento, right?
Yeah, I mean, you popped up. I was on Twitch when I saw you started streaming. So I don't know, since I've been here, like since you started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. You got recommended. Someone recommended. Hey, there's this guy called Brento Box. You should really reach out to him, and I did, and I'm happy. You've been here like forever, and never stop supporting. So it's been.
Oh yeah, it's my is I Bam Bam Bigelow, but my Twitter name is Black American Made, so it was probably me. Shouldn't be too many. Thanks though. Oh, and Andrew, that's what's up, man. Where'd y'all go?
I recommended you. It's like you gotta check out the Brento
Yeah.
Box, and I'm very glad he did. So
Yeah.
thanks for being here, buddy.
Ooh, I just got
Thanks,
the
man.
C word pass. I can say it as much as I want.
Oh wait,
Sorry,
who
I
gave
didn't
you
mean to
one?
undercut the
Oh,
moment.
man.
Sorry. It's fine.
Okay,
Go
whatever.
ahead.
And then last but not least, we have Redheaded Man with us. So you want to go by Redheaded Man, not Dustin? Or I don't
No,
know.
well, my regular name's Dustin. It just they can find me on Twitch through Redheaded Man, but I don't stream or do anything of that. But if you want to shoot me a friend request, go ahead, guys. We can shoot the shit no matter what. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you for being around, for being a part of this, for jumping in. We had him on the open panel, and so I'm very, very happy that you come here today and to be a part of all of this. So, yeah, thank you for being here, Redheaded Man, for the very first time.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Okay. All right. We'll get started with the content. I'm going to read out the topic and we'll go from there. So, in recent years, online sports betting has become legal in the United States. It is now available in 30 states. At this moment, sports fans are being inundated with ads about risk-free betting, right? In quotes, right? But some warn against the dangers of the industry. And sports gambling is sports more gambling more corrosive than any other form? Does the fact that it's tied to something as ubiquitous as sports make it a greater danger? Does it corrupt the game itself? Or should it not matter at all because Americans should have the freedom to engage in destructive behaviors? So yeah, sports betting, big thing now because the Super Bowl. Oh no, I said it. Oh. And I'm like, yeah. Anyway, whatever. Fuck you. Yeah, the Super Bowl is tomorrow, and just the ads everywhere. They're on TV. They're on billboards. They're on internet ads, YouTube, everywhere. Right? You're getting hit with these ads all the time.
You good, Andrew? You are the exception. Don't even worry about it.
Sign up. It's just because the first hit is always free, right? Isn't that right, Captain Agents?
Damn right.
Yeah. And so I'm reading articles about how was such a problem for various addicts, and what should we do about this? Should we do anything about this? Is it just a danger? It's just like a vice like any other, and some people can engage in it responsibly and others can't. Yeah, is it destructive or whatnot? These six are going to debate this thing. I'm going to take myself off screen because we have enough people to do this. I'll be directing this from afar. But yeah, we'll go down the line with introductions and we'll get started from there. All right. So, Mad Latin, what is your opening statement?
Gambling is bad. Okay. You shouldn't gamble. Okay. No. Yeah, I think it's like extremely addictive and very problematic. I've known individuals who are extremely problem gamblers, just getting on these like FanDuel or whatever. There's like the Caesars, whatever the hell thing now, and they're just like this guy I know like blew like $1,000 in like 1 week on just like random sports betting and stuff, right? So like I got like a lot of anecdotal evidence for why this is a problem, and also lots of studies and things, and support groups for gambling. So the fact that people can be exploited for their gambling addictions is a bit of a problem. I'm not sure what the right approach is because I also am on the side like with some types of gambling, I think it's okay. Like for example, I have a friend who was a professional poker player, right? And then when poker, like he was making a living off of poker playing, and it got banned in the United States. So he like moved to China to continue to like play poker and make money from like internet poker play, right? So I think there's like something to having some legal system that like allows for gambling. I think that it shouldn't be like completely banned, but I think we do need to put regulations in place to prevent people from blowing their life savings and losing their houses over this for sure.
Okay. Let's go to Black American Made.
Yeah, I think that gambling is one of the most. It seems to be one of the most natural human things we can do. It's the same thing with like having sex and any other vice. Like, I don't think saying it's bad does anything. Like, at one point, I lived in a state where all forms of gambling was illegal. There wasn't a lottery or anything, and people still had like under the table versions of gambling because it's something people enjoy doing. With just like anything else people enjoy doing, there is a likelihood of people being irresponsible with it and betting money they essentially can't afford to lose. But some people just do it for the love of the game, win or lose. Like, of course, you get upset when you lose, but like I think it's something that can be done as long as you're betting money, you're okay with losing. And I think of gambling, sports betting may be the most ethical way of doing so because it's like a more informed bet than like anything else. Not like roulette where is it gonna be red or black. Like the reason that they have add points, spreads to sports betting is because like someone knowledgeable has a decent chance of guessing who's going to win or lose a sports game if you're like informed enough on the thing. So yeah, I think that it's generally okay, but like just well, I think it should be legal, but like sure, it's probably people probably shouldn't do it, but again, it's pretty naturally human behavior. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to Roadman.
So, gambling should be legal. I bought this fucking house off of gambling. I I I hit parlays. Oh, sorry. I hit parlays. I hit parlays. I've done many gambling things. I've made a bunch of money gambling. Um, if you're smart, you know what you're doing. You can make a good amount of money. Anybody who's against gambling, I think you are scared. I think that you like basically are sitting in the realm of like oh you have to have the 401k, like don't risk it for the biscuit. Like most people live a life that is like very safe, but the people who risk, those are the people who are going to profit. So we'll get
Or
into it.
go bankrupt. Oh, sorry.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Sorry,
Thank you,
no.
Roadman. Roadman, much appreciated. All right. And I'm very glad that you're here. Since you have such a deep knowledge of this the subject. But thank you. All right. Let's go to Brento Box.
Heyo. So, I like gambling. My favorite game on Twitch is gambling on games using the points. Like, so if I just learn a game and then I watch someone else play it and then I gamble with chat, that's like the best. And I know that's like, well, it's different because it's not real money, but that's it. And gambling with real money is fine too. I love doing it. I don't think you can stop people from doing it. And you can stop it from being abusive, because you could certainly have some crazy abusive gambling practices. But yeah, otherwise, no, I think people certainly have a right to do it. And in fact, I think your question was like, is it worse because it's on sports? I think it's actually better because it's on sports, because I don't really like gambling on odds, like, pulling a lever that I'm guaranteed to lose a little bit forever. Like, that seems crazy. But I can bet on a sports game if I think I know that team is better than that team. And if anyone disagrees, like, yeah, let's put, I don't know, whatever you want to put on it. So I think that's totally normal. And I don't think it should be banned. But it is a problem. It gives people a little hit of something, and then they get addicted to that. And so that is I don't know if you can necessarily call it a drug, but it can get addictive, obviously.
Thank you.
Yeah, Andrew. My bad. I don't want to cut off. Oh, no, actually, I'll respond to y'all after we get through these openings.
And I'll save more for the panel and the open discussion. But I just generally think that if we're allowed to take out an options bet and put a spread on some stock and risk a shitload of money for a zero sum gain, then we should probably be allowed to do that on a gambling website where maybe the max amount that they're going to get you on a spin is $50 for the regulated sites. That is. I do think that there's a bit of a problem, possibly in the crypto gambling space, although frankly, like, it's gambling. People understand the risks of gambling, and I don't think that we should be just like with a drug policy. I think drugs should be legal too. And I don't think that we should be basing our policy decisions off of addicts. That doesn't seem like the right way to go. Yeah, there's going to be people who do really stupid stuff, whether that's in the markets or in their real life with drugs or with whatever it is, cigarettes or whatever. So people should be allowed to have that freedom because I'm a liberal scumbag. So.
Redheaded man.
Yeah. So actually, I'm kind of fortunate enough where I actually worked in the gambling industry. When I first got out of the Marine Corps, the first civilian job that I took was doing security at the Horseshoe Casino in Council Bluffs, Iowa. So I had some of those actual customers come in saying that they need help. We got them resources through the actual casino. So casinos actually do a fair amount, at least from my experience, of trying to help regulate and get those problem gamblers out. At the same time, there were ways in which we had the conversation that would actually edge them towards no longer, or kind of like talking them out of it. So it's a very difficult kind of 50-50 situation. To specifically address our topic at hand, though, I think it's going to be a pretty interesting one. Is the fact of the matter is it's no longer just like, hey, I'm going to go to the casino tonight. It's literally, picking up one of these and I can go out and easily access any amount of bets, sending it right from my bank account, winning or losing, and going from there. I think there is room for regulation. I don't know if anybody's going to disagree with it, especially if we're talking about people with problems. However, the new switch in industry, which will be very similar to kind of like what we see in the gaming industry as far as like loot boxes and everything, being able to access that and remind people, hey, you could be gambling right now, will be problematic. You will see some people in the industry give it a go. So I think that's probably what we want to make the subject about, is like, if I get a text message from Horseshoe Casino to go in and spin on their app and spend money, how are we going to handle that?
Okay, open to the panel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just to start, like, all betting has odds involved, right? Like, the whole point of betting is you bet on the person who's less likely to win to make a profit, which is the problem, right? Like, the guy that I knew who lost $1,000 in a single week, he just bet on all the underdogs repeatedly, and he got lucky a few weeks in a row, made a ton of money, and then he lost it, and then he lost a lot of money after that because that plan doesn't work.
Well, no, that's just one strategy.
Yeah.
That's not like
it's like a crazy.
But I'm just saying, people
I
don't
mean,
always
Roe
bet on
Man's
underdogs. I know
really going to be able to kind of help you out as far as him talking about his success and why it would end up being different from I don't know if you consider yourself a professional rogue or not, but from a professional standpoint, you may want to kind of look at him and see how it was up and coming when
Well, I mean,
he was.
my best friend was a professional poker player. He was making $100K a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that there's a way of maybe sports gambling is different. It's fair. What kind of gambling did you actually do, Roban, that made you your profit?
I just got lucky. It was parlays. It was boxing matches. It was I just have a feel. I have a feel for the things I say. I don't. I don't know how to explain it. It's like I like gambling because you can like in the sports aspect of it, like you can go into it. You know what I mean? Like you can really look at the stats. It's not like the stock market where you're looking at numbers up and down and shit like that. You can actually like see the physical feats of these individuals.
What's a parlay? Could
can
you
we-
tell that? I don't know what that is. Maybe I'm not sure if anyone else does.
I don't know
Parlay.
what that is either.
A parlay is like so basically like say uh the Patriots and the Eagles are playing. You're picking like 5 teams to win, and you pick all these teams to win 5 times. Um, if one of those teams doesn't win, you don't win. So it's hard to explain without
Yeah,
like a visual.
a parlay is a
from
parlay
what
is
I
basically
saw, it
it's
looked like it was
increasing
just a bunch
your
of
odds.
teams like on a single bracket, right? Like it's almost
Yeah,
like a NCAA like
like
basketball bracket.
you need
almost,
to
right?
have you need to have like 9 things happen for you to get a payout.
Yeah, it's,
So,
it's
like-
just low. It's just
so, like,
increasing
you
your
would- you would-
odds.
you
A
would
very
pay-
high payout for like getting all those things right.
Very, very high risk, high payout.
Yeah, so
Okay,
like so you would pay like $100 and say, here's $100. I think that the Broncos are gonna win, the Dallas Cowboys are gonna win. Like you pick all these teams, and if you pick every single team right, that's a parlay. If one loses, you're done. But if you hit every single one right, you could turn $100 into $7,000. You know what I mean?
How much? What was your turnaround? So you said you bought your house with the money. So how much did you invest? How much did you get back? It's out of curiosity.
How much did I invest? What do you mean?
Like how much
I
did
think
you
he's-
gamble to get your money? Like how much did you put into the system? So and then how much did you put at
I'd be
risk?
shocked that
And then how
person-
much did you get
if someone could
altogether?
track that, had like track of that number. I mean, maybe he does, but
Like gambling wise, you could start with $1,000, dude. Like that's what I'm saying. Like gambling is a good thing if you're smart. Most people look at gambling and they think like, oh, you're a scumbag. You're gonna be out on the dumps in the gutter. But if you're smart about it and you know what you're doing and you can find the right bets, you can really make a lot of money.
So,
gambling.
so,
Well,
so
right.
here's
So
the
it sounds like
problem
you
that
got lucky then.
So,
no,
so,
I
for
got
so
lucky.
I,
Yeah, you're right. That's what I said from the start. I got
Right.
lucky.
So
No, Roadman,
how-
I do like your honesty. I actually really appreciate that you're being honest and saying that you were lucky and not like I was just so skilled in gambling, you know,
Yeah,
because
no,
like
I'm lucky.
that's not how it goes. And so I think
sports
like
betting is
I actually like
sports
that
betting
point.
is a level
And
of
so
skill.
let me try to save you from yourself a little bit here. Like I think that because that doesn't go with the other thing that you just said. They just don't really go together. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
So
What are you talking about?
So like if you want to gamble and say that and it's all luck and that yeah, maybe I'm above average, but still it's all luck.
It's not
I think
all
that that's
luck.
the correct take.
I think that's not the
But
correct
it's not
take.
about skill and if you're skilled enough. I don't believe that's the correct take. It's even the most skilled poker players can tell you that like unless they're playing on an amateur table, they're not just guaranteed to fucking win.
It's not all luck though. I think that's not.
It's and with poker especially.
Well,
like,
yeah, I mean, yes, with
agree
poker, sure.
100%. It's not just all
Yeah.
luck.
But
poker.
I'm saying,
I'm just gonna give like.
I know we're talking about roulettes and stuff like that's one thing, but I'm saying with sports betting in particular, there is a reality. Like it doesn't. You can't beat the odds. There always is a chance of losing. But the one thing that makes sports betting, I think a little bit better is like the odds are in front of you. Like they always say like, oh, this team has a 7% chance of winning, and like I think people are more, at least you're more aware of that going into it. Like, oh, okay, I'm making if you do take the riskier end of the spectrum, like it's in front of you. But they don't do that at the roulette table. They don't do it at the blackjack.
No, I mean,
table.
I'm just gonna completely undercut this real quick because, like, I'm gonna tell you a story about like high risk.
I don't know.
But
Well,
you don't have,
hold on.
wait a
I
minute,
just
you
don't
don't have
think
to go the
that-
high risk route. I'm saying like,
I'm sorry,
hold on. Last thing I'm saying, you don't have to go the high risk route. Like I know people who like Floyd Mayweather is 50-0. He's never lost a fight. I know people like you have to bet 1,000 to win like 1,100. Like you don't have a big there's not a big profit in betting for him. But I know people who always take that like he's won 50 fights in a row. I'm betting on him and I'm gonna make this 10% increase, but like because it's like a money printer. Like it's like you take the safe bet for a little. Like people do that. Don't think that everyone who makes the bets goes for the like extreme high risk.
Before we go on, can I Have any of you ever bet on a sport?
Do
I
you
have.
consider horse
Not
racing a
like-
sport?
Not like with Vegas or anything like that. No.
Have any of you on this panel bet on sports?
Yeah.
I have. Have
Mhm.
anybody else? Okay.
Not like professionally with friends and stuff. Sure, yeah.
So
2 other people raise their hands. So yeah.
I have bet many times on sports. I don't know. Anybody else?
Yes, we did that.
Yeah, they raise their hands. Yeah, 2 other
Yeah.
people raise their
Yes.
Okay, so we got
Just
3
us.
people who have bet on sports.
Right.
4 because Brento raised his hand too.
Yeah,
I
I'm in there
think-
too.
I think that when you bet on sports, it makes it more exciting. Like it's you get into the game. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're really into it, and
Mhm.
that's half the fun. And it's like that's what people don't talk about when they watch sports. Is like when we were watching sports, half of the entertainment is like
the stakes.
the drama behind like the stakes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it gives you that investment.
Exactly.
Can we? So this is
Yeah.
gonna jump the shark a little. This is gonna change the topic a bit. Because now we're talking about like the excitement of the betting versus like the actual like financial damage or gain we get from the betting. So like that's a side.
Well, you
that's a
would-
side.
You have to weigh both.
Yeah,
right?
I mean obviously, but we should dissect
Right.
one and then dissect the other, right?
Mhm.
I was just gonna say, like, so I believe in risk, ambitious risk, right? Like, for example, what I've done in the past, I used my entire, like, all my rent money for a month and participated in a chess tournament with the expectation that I would, like, win and, like, get my money back, right? And it worked, right? Like, I made $8,000 or $7,000 and I spent, like, $400 to do it, right? Like, that was, like, my high risk thing. So, I totally understand that principle, that concept. And I've done things like that when I thought I have an above average chance of actually cashing out, right? When it comes to sports betting, though, from what I've seen, I haven't personally engaged in this directly, but from what I've gathered, even with like the safe betting, let's say we're gonna bet on Floyd Mayweather repeatedly and just have the free money, right? At a certain point, that consistency stops happening, and you're depending on this money from your Floyd Mayweather bets, and something goes wrong, and you lose a shit ton of money as a result, right? Like that still kind of happens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
within the
happens.
realm of
Yeah.
possibility.
I mean,
sure.
it's like it's just
Right.
it's an investment.
But you're
just
like
like
you're betting
anyone starting a business.
$1,000. But you're betting $1,000. Like, aren't you betting like remarkably more on that bet to get your 100? Like you're betting 1,000 to get $100, right?
It depends. It
Yeah.
depends.
Well, I
on
mean,
the,
it's just a
the-
percentage wise, but you don't have to put up
Right, yeah.
1,000. But you know, like that's
Yeah,
just,
but I mean, like, but that's like
It's,
that's the
I
sort of
don't
ratio
think you
we're
want to
dealing
make
with,
the
right?
Guys, it's
discussion
way
about the
worse than
numbers,
that.
right?
What are you
Like,
talking about? It's you guys are acting like it's a zero sum game. This is a negative sum game where there's also the house that's going to take a percentage off your cut as well. So like
Right.
it's almost never that you
Well,
get the
it's-
same odds and these exact odds where nothing is skimmed off the top.
That's not
Like, in
entirely. That's not entirely true. It's more like a.
Dude, how do you think they
brokerage
make their
fee.
money?
Well, yeah, because it's more like a brokerage fee, like
Well,
for being the
yeah.
bookie for
I mean,
allowing
free
you-
trades aren't free. You can't believe that when Robinhood says
Well,
So,
yeah,
I mean,
but-
free trades
but-
that
but
they
the
actually
statement that I
made
feel that
free.
you're the
So
statement
we're talking
that I
about
feel that you're making is
That's,
that somehow
that's a different subject.
Well,
Yeah,
so we're talking
it-
about like the system. So I
Same
think
thing.
we're talking about like the systemic, like a systemic approach, right? Like we could advocate for everybody to just take safe bets and they'll make like free money, right? But let's say everybody
Possibly,
actually did that. Let's say everybody did that. Everybody took the safe bets, and there's nobody betting against the safe bet. There wouldn't be any profit being made for those people who everybody was doing safe bets. So like even the safe betting, you're contributing to the problem because you are taking money from someone who did the high risk bet and bet against Floyd Mayweather, right? So like on a system scale, there's like this problem. On an individual scale, I agree, you can totally make a profit off of it. That's fine. But like if we're looking at it as a whole system and looking at the suckers who are losing money, and there's got to be enough suckers for everybody to be getting $100 for every 1,000 you spend on Floyd Mayweather. We need to do something to prevent folks from like losing money like that, right? Especially if they can't afford it.
But then you can't make the money. So then it's like, I mean, I think I want
Well, you're
to
reducing
agree
the
with what you're
profit,
saying
right?
because you want
You're like-
to regulate it so that poor people or people who don't have the means can't just risk their entire 401k or something like that on some bet. That's what
Well,
you want.
kind of, but
in
see, here's the
terms of
problem with that.
policy. But
Here's the
like,
problem with that though. That's actually like there's a kind of a bias, right? Because if you don't have the money and you can't participate, then that means that the system is being designed to like rule against you for being
there you
poor,
go.
which kind of sucks too.
I agree. I agree that sucks. I think that sucks more than the potential for some addicts to lose it all over having potentially an unfair system where you're just like I have this problem in the stock market. There's a $25,000 limit to day trading. You can't day trade without $25,000 in your brokerage account. That's a U.S. regulation. So this literally just you just can't do something unless you have a certain amount of capital. I think that's just barring somebody from accessing something that could potentially be very lucrative for them. And guess what? The stock market, just like gambling, that's why I keep bringing up the stock market. It's just like gambling. It's a negative sum game. And the losers, there's a lot more losers than there are winners. Let me tell you, it ain't fair in the stock market. Like, it's just like that stupid meme where it's like, he bought, dump it. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it feels sometimes when you're investing. You're like, oh man, I bought at the fucking perfect price. This is great. I did research on this company. Oh, the company's going to blow earnings. And then it does. It blows out earnings. And then, holy fuck, the stock price goes down. Mm-hmm. What? Like, this happens all the time. And like, it's not fair. You know, so I don't, and like for each person who's losing, it's, maybe like a quarter of a person winning. Like, the odds are ever stacked in your against you in terms of gambling and speculating.
Systemically, yes. Individually, no. Right? Like, individually, you could be like Roadman and like somehow pull like whatever trick you need to do to make. But systemically speaking, the whole society gets punished by the fact that this exists, and that's what the problem is, right?
So, in terms of the stock market, I don't believe that there's a negative impact to society. I would argue that there's a positive impact to society to having
if more people are losing money,
companies.
how is it?
So inherently losing money is not necessarily a bad thing. If I have $100,000 and I lose 10,000 of it,
so, like some things are worth it to people. That losing that money is worth it to some people. Like, it's fun because maybe everyone doesn't bet the rent money. Maybe some people like
or the potential for a greater gain is more worth it to you than that 10,000 or whatever money that you have. And I'll give you
kind of like a fun, realistic example. So what the Horseshoe Casino would do is they would bus in people from old folks' homes on like the weekend, early mornings, and bring them in for free, give them comps as far as like drinks and food, and they would walk around and play slots. Can you say, and would you probably say as a business model, you're trying to take money from old people? Yeah. But as a form of entertainment, you kind of have like either two choices. Like, you're either going to go out and do something similar to gambling, or, you could go out and do anything else you want. This gives you an option to go out and do something, or you could sit in the fucking old folks home and waste away. And those were some of the nicest people that you would probably fucking want to meet, as far as like coming out, seeking that entertainment and doing what you want with your money. That becomes, that's in essence what gambling is. I don't think anybody's disagreeing with that.
Yeah, there's no one who gambles who doesn't know who hasn't heard the phrase "the house always wins."
So I mean, we can talk about those benefits. We can talk about those benefits, those side benefits.
Correct.
But
sure.
I think the first thing we need to acknowledge, like everybody acknowledge here, is systemically speaking, on a whole, everybody's losing money by participating in this, right? Like, as a whole.
Well, what do you mean?
Everybody?
Probably.
Like, if you took everyone.
It's not even no. Like, this is the problem. Like, it's not even a necessarily losing money. What the statement I just made is what you probably need to contend with. Not losing money, it's doing something for entertainment. If you want to sit here and say that like the house will always win and play those numbers, yeah, sure, fine. But I, as an adult,
people know that,
choose this form of entertainment. And this is how I want to spend my money. If you want to say, like,
I'm happy to talk about that separately. I think, but I'm trying to like get nuance for the issue. So I want to talk about like the one thing, the house always wins. Kind of get that like established. I think we agree on that then, at least, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
But, okay, cool. And then we can also agree to some extent that like there's a small group of people who overall will win money from this, and a greater majority of individuals who will lose money doing this. Right? We can agree on that as well.
There's like three types of gamblers. There's the lottery ticket scratcher that you're seeing. He's scratching it all the time at the corner store.
Probably the biggest guy.
Yep. Then you go to the then you go to the casino. He's pulling the thing, then you have the stock market.
Mhm.
At the lowest level, the lottery ticket, you're not making any money. The casino slot, the slots and the roulette, you're not making any money. The stock market, you can make some money. Like that's how I see it.
I mean, and that's fine, but like,
What up, Alexander? Thanks for checking me out. Yeah, I guess I'm trying to. I just got upgraded my setup, so hopefully you'll be seeing me more often. Keep coming. Appreciate it.
Supposed to be more aimed towards sports betting and the new
right.
day and age of being able to, sports bet on your phone as opposed to like playing the stock market. We can make those
You can,
comparisons.
I'm sorry, but
I, I
wait. You can trade Forex 24/7 during the week. You can trade
Sure.
cryptocurrencies 24/7, literally just 24/7. The crypto never goes off. You could trade stocks during the day. All of this you can do on your phone. I've done it all on my phone.
Wonderful. What does that have to?
That's fair.
Well, I'm just saying you're using this phone argument. Everything can be
Correct.
done on the phone.
That is fair.
Now,
Right?
is that the question becomes like, will that shift the idea and will that change the landscape and in turn do more harm to people because they're able
Don't you
to?
think people were saying the same thing about casinos whenever the first fucking casino was? I don't know. Maybe they
Maybe they
weren't
were
actually.
right.
Maybe nobody gave a fuck. Maybe everyone was
Yeah.
like, "Wait, that would be stupid to care about that."
I
Well,
think
the
This
mob's
is
got to
dumb
make
as
money
fuck.
too,
We can
right?
finally go somewhere safe to gamble. Fuck
So
yeah.
I mean, okay, so like just going back to the idea, I just want to like get like some sort of agreement, and then we can move on to the next thing, like whether we should talk about stocks or not, because I think that's actually a really good point. But like, I think the baseline here is that as a whole, the house always wins. And the other thing we can agree on is that there's going to be a small portion of people who gain a lot from the betting itself, and there's going to be a large quantity of people who don't in terms of strictly finances. I'm not talking about enjoyment or anything else. Just in terms of finances, more people lose money than gain, right? Like we agree on that.
Yeah, it's probably a net
Cool.
negative on society, but like so is a lot of other things that we find really natural in part of society, like alcohol, like even marijuana. Whether as controversial as that sounds, like a lot of these things would probably be in a more functionally like a more responsible society without these things. But again, I think that these vices are very very natural to what we as humans want to do, and then not just as adults, like from when we were kids. You bet your friend, hey, I bet I can throw this rock and hit that tree, and like maybe there wasn't money on the line, but maybe there was like I'll get your ice cream later or something. Like betting, gambling is very natural to what humans do. I believe it's in there. I don't think you can outlaw it. I don't think you can stop the concept of human beings making bets.
Hey, no, I mean, so what does regulation look like? What does regulation look like would be like the next step after we figure out like what the pros and cons are.
So
like, I
nobody's in
laid out
favor
the
of outlaw,
cons.
right?
I mean, I don't know yet. We have to figure out what the pros and the cons are all together, and then we can talk about what we should do, I think. So like I agree. So we've come up with two cons, which is the house wins and people lose money overall. And then we've talked about some pros. We've talked about like it's possible like Roadman to buy a house off of this. We talked about people who are old enjoying spending the money and getting like something nice at the end of their lives, which I can get behind. I think that's perfectly
young
fine.
people too just enjoy being invested in like just like I have $20 because like I don't think we should think of like every person who gambles is like, oh, they're putting their house on the line. Like this isn't the average situation. We're talking about the extreme ends. The average person who gambles pick
You gamble every day. Every day you gamble. You walk outside, you're gambling.
Okay, but that's like a whatever.
Yeah, you're going a little farther on that one. That's like, come on now.
No,
I mean, you're making it very conceptual.
No,
Okay.
but it's true though.
mean-
You gamble every day.
Fine, but like there's people who would say like I gamble enough every day. I'm not going to gamble any more than I have to. Right.
And so for those people, they can put their money in gold or something. I don't know. They can stuff their cash in their sofa or whatever smart mattress thing that they have. Like, but yes, there are options for people who don't want to take a lot of risk. You could put your money in ETFs. I mean, I have half my money in ETFs. So like, why? Yeah, there's options. I'm just, but that's like, again, going back to what you were saying, that's the low risk gamble that you're taking. You're always gambling. I mean, even if you're holding cash, you're gambling.
Yep.
So like, I don't know. I just reject this. Like, I mean, like, not to make it all cliche, everything you do is a gamble in life. But like, I Kind of, yeah. Like, fuck,
Yeah.
dude. We live in a crazy fucking world
If
where,
you're
like, if we
breathing-
lived in Russia, if I lived in Russia and I think it was 2014, and the ruble just tanked in value, like 60 fucking percent or some crazy shit like that. Like, that would impact my life no matter how I tried to like wiggle around it. If I didn't somehow see that happening,
If
you
you
know?
are alive, you are gambling.
And I think
Okay.
outside of like
That's
really, I think
fine,
outside
but,
of like
yeah,
really,
come on,
really,
man.
really, really
Nah.
like strict, like people who have like strong, like massive addictions to gambling. I think that everyone, like, I think, well, not everyone, but for the most part, people before they make a bet, like at the time they make the bet that's worth it to them. Because so even then, like the people who bet a lot of money, like some people aren't okay with aren't okay with staying in their like livelihood position. The people who make the big bets to try to change their lives, like at the time of their betting, they're deciding that you sure I could take this money, but it's not worth it for me to continue on with this level of lifestyle. I want to try to, because for most people we know that's rich, like whether they use the stock market or some type of business, like they took a huge risk because they know if they win once they can change their life forever. And I understand like the mindset that people go through to make that decision. Do I recommend it? No, but I understand it. I can empathize, even if I don't sympathize.
So I think like it's important also to talk about, like, we're talking about the joy of gambling and the pleasure we get from it, but I think we can also like offset that joy that people get from casually wasting money to like the deep depression and darkness that comes from losing more money than you intended, even if it's not like financially like threatening or anything like that. Like there can be like a lot of resentment and negativity and anger around making a bet that you thought was solid and then being disappointed in the result.
Yeah.
So like I think that's like a split, right? Like I mean I don't have I'm looking for statistics on like who sports bets and like its impact on like mental health or like financial stuff, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of studies actually explaining what's going on there. So we're gonna be kind of like shooting in the dark here, it looks like, unless anyone, chat, that includes you, can find like studies on this. I would
Young
love
adult
that.
males from whatever the legal gambling age is probably to about 35. I mean, that's probably going to be your typical audience.
Sure.
Which
Are they
is
happy? Are they
already,
sad? Do they have money?
well, that's already a pretty contentious, unstable group as it is, young adult males. Um, I I guess I'm a bit confused as like what you want your take to be, or like what are we arguing about, right?
Yeah,
Because I think we're all in agreement as far as like should be legal, should be regulated. We're all in agreement of like the extreme ends on both shouldn't really be talked about as far as like the extreme losses or the extreme wins, because typically those two will cancel each other out. Um, and our middle ground game, it kind of becomes about like your choice in autonomy and like how you decide to make money in this world, whether it's stocks or gambling. We all have acknowledged that like it's still kind of like your choice.
So like there's like one dichotomy we can explore. So like the thing is like I'm not sure what to really push for yet. We're just like fleshing things out. Like I think one dichotomy that might be like particularly interesting here is like, so I guess we'll go down the train of logic. So like let's say we want to regulate sports betting, right?
Sure.
Well, we don't want to penalize folks for being poor, which means you'd have to pass a regulation of some kind that is applied to everyone equally. Like you're not allowed to bet more than $500 in a sports bet a year or something along those lines, right?
Well, I mean, I
Now,
don't think
the
there's
benefit. Well, hold on. So
hold
let me
on,
flesh
because
this
I
out,
don't think
because
there's actually
this is a hypothetical.
problem. Wonderful, but I don't think there's actually a problem with having laws that disproportionately punish the poor.
Okay,
I mean, it may seem regressive, but sure.
Well, we'll get to this. Well, this is where the dichotomy comes in. I want to flesh this out, right? So this is like blue pilled or whatever pill you want to call it. Like we're just going down this rabbit hole of the way. So if we're trying to be equal and we don't want to penalize the poor, $500 limit on everyone, versus the other end of the spectrum, which is, well, if you have money, shouldn't you have the right to use it to make more money, right? So we have to like weigh the cost benefit between equity and the capacity to profit off of this system, right? So I think that's like one dichotomy that we could like properly explore. And like I think you're on the other side of the thing. Like while I'm thinking about like, you know, equity and trying not to penalize folks who are poor, you're on the other end saying like, well, I don't care about that. I would like to give people with money the opportunity to sports bet without any limitations, right?
I think there could be a threshold like for a level of entry.
like-
Like if you want to make a bet, like you can't bet like more than if you don't make $100,000, like you can't bet your entire livelihood. Like there has some standard of some barrier to entry for like the type of income to.
No, it should be by percent based on income.
No, what do you
What
say?
the fuck?
You're saying you want to say you can't bet on a percentage based take? What do you?
Well,
what are you
I'm
talking
saying
about?
that like if our big issue is we don't want really poor people being able to like basically collapse their entire lifestyle on one bet because they have an addiction. Like maybe if you make below a certain amount of money, you can't bet every dollar you've ever owned. You know what I'm saying?
But
like all
see,
the
here's the problem
Which
though,
that
because
was-
like the
Ooh,
people with lots of
I
money
don't
who can
like that.
also
No, I don't like
bankrupt
that.
themselves as well, right? So we're already assuming that the folks who are poor are the ones who are bankrupting themselves gambling, but it's entirely possible that you could have someone who's like a lawyer making $200K a
Right,
year
yeah.
bankrupting themselves. So
But
like I don't.
the thing is they're a lawyer, so like they have a higher likelihood of bouncing back from that. Once you've made a certain amount of money, at least it's easier to replace.
Yeah, I mean the bounce back is. I mean the wealth generation is a thing, right? True. If you have like some sort of base asset, it makes it easier. But like,
because I'm
I
not
think-
arguing from a place of freedom. I think freedom is a boring argument. Like, well, people should have a right to do a lot of things.
Yeah,
We're making more arguments about what's good. Like how can we prescriptively create a better society? So that's why I'm saying that like people should be able to bet every dollar they ever made, and if they go like if they go bankrupt and go and kill themselves, and that was like part of their decision. Like I don't think that's. I don't think we can sit
Well,
that in
I
the name
just-
of freedom.
Yeah, you can't.
That's
wonderful, but I
that's
don't
the
know
world.
how the fuck
That's
you're gonna,
that's
like,
real life
regulate
though.
it. That's my
But
question.
that's real life. Like
mean, like,
the risk
yeah.
reward is
I-
that's what you're dealing with.
Ask this question, like if they're taking away people's money, and that's wrong, and you're going to create like a barrier or like a grade for doing that, like how do you know who deserves to lose their money and who doesn't?
Like I said, that's
Where do
what
you
I was
draw that
saying.
line?
Like that's what I was saying. Like it would be, I could get behind the concept of a threshold for certain types of bets. The same way with which I think day trade is actually a little weird with the $25,000 entry for day trading. But like the concept of like, oh, okay, you need to have this much of money. You need to have made this much amount of money before you can make a $50,000 bet, or before you can
No, so
Well,
one
I
thing I
guess-
want to interject real quick, and this isn't to you, Bam. This is the Roadman. Roadman is talking about how this is real life, and is using that as a justification for why we should do this because it's
Sure.
like real life, right? I don't think it being something that naturally happens is a justification for continuing, like modeling our regulations, right? Like just because like we can die of disease doesn't mean that we should. Okay, wait. Actually, I just realized you're
No.
like so in that camp, aren't you?
No,
Like,
I'm saying you wanna legalize gambling, right?
Yeah.
You wanna have the dude who says, I'm gonna risk it all and I lost and I killed myself. He kills himself. That's what happens, dude. Like that's what
right.
happens.
And so like the point
Yeah,
of regulation
well, I think
is to prevent extraneous cases like this, right?
Yeah.
I,
that's
that
the whole
might
point.
happen more with something like a lover that spurns you or cheats on you or something like
Right,
that.
yeah.
Gambling will
To
do
have
that.
some kind of emotion like that. I'm just saying
Yeah.
these are not. I don't even know if this is definitely not
Gambling-
just.
People
Well,
kill themselves over the money they've gambled. Absolutely, all the time.
No, I understand, but like
kill
that's the
themselves
choice
over-
you made. You made
Yeah.
that choice. You know what I'm saying?
This is kind of why I was talking about. I don't know if we want to start doing appeals to the extreme because I don't know how useful it ends up becoming. If you want to talk about the societal impact that gambling has, you also have to talk about the ability of making careers, establishing an economy. You also need to kind of talk about the tax generation that you end up getting off of the regulation. Like, then it would also
Should
be
talk about
wise
that.
to
I
kind
think that's good.
yeah, it would also be wise to talk about how the industry regulates itself, what it does, and what are some better practices, right? And why we would still recommend having a third party, aka the state, coming in and making sure and enforcing these regulations are being followed. Yeah, but I'm confused as to why we would want to, or how useful it would be to jump to the conclusion of like there are going to be people that bet so much that they kill themselves.
I mean, it
Yeah,
happens.
I
Like,
wasn't. I
it's
mean,
very
they didn't have to kill themselves, but I was just speaking more to
mean,
the
right.
larger,
No.
the solving the problem. Like if this is the problem we want to if
Well,
this is the problem we want to
preventing
deal
that-
with, yeah. Like
Yeah.
and some people, I just think that I think it's really I don't see the point of like us having a conversation if the only argument you have is like freedom, like you have a freedom to do so, like that. I think we can go deeper than that. Like is this a good thing? Is there anything that we as a society can do to curb that?
Oh, I think you should let people be free. And if some people fuck up, like you're gonna have these outcasts of society, and that sucks. I'm sorry, like I don't want that to happen, but
I mean,
that's what it is.
but this is also the same way I'm
is
against like
freedom more
heroin
important
legalization.
than-
Like, I don't think that it serves society. Like decriminalization, maybe, but I'm not for. I don't think that like hard drugs or I don't believe that freedom
We
is the
already
only thing
do
that we
have-
ought to consider.
Well,
We
I mean,
already
so
have
the whole
legalized
okay, so
heroin.
drugs are different because like with drugs, there's like you decriminalize it and then you help addicts become less of an addict through like some combination of therapy and access, right?
Sure, but
So
I
folks
wouldn't
don't
want it to
have
be
to,
like
like-
a gas
Why
Which
station.
can't
would-
it be
Which would
And
be
like
the
the same
same
way-
thing that we're
to-
attempting to do
yeah.
with gambling as right.
And we could
as
do that
of
with
right
gambling.
now.
There's a lot
Right,
of
yeah.
actually don't
But,
quote me
like,
on this
but the
because
point
I've never
is-
looked into it, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of different anti-gambling, doing the same thing that they do with drug addicts.
Well,
kind
that's
of
different though because
organizations
drugs
like
you
that.
need.
And I'm pretty sure that
drugs-
casinos give to them, to make themselves look better, obviously. But
Well,
like,
yeah, it's.
But the difference is that drugs are like a commodity you have to acquire, whereas gambling can just sort of happen in a lot
It's
of
an
different ways.
action.
And a lot, yeah. So
It's-
it's different
yeah,
because like you have access continuously with gambling versus drugs, where like you
Well,
might
you
end
still
up
have
going
access-
to jail.
you
Yeah, but
still have
gambling
access
gambling
continuously.
has a positive aspect to it. Like drugs, there's no money.
There's an
to be made.
economy. There's an economy. There's people who get
Yes.
involved.
yes,
There's
that's
all that
right.
other
Plenty of-
stuff.
That's right.
There's
Do
plenty
not
of
do
positive
drugs,
aspects.
anybody. There's no
Yes.
positives to it. It does not make you
We
feel
can talk
good
about all that.
at all. Okay, it makes you feel fucking horrible
Caps.
afterwards.
Cat's
So,
just
like,
trying to get all the
The
drugs
point
for
is,
himself.
so the battle here is between freedom and then also like how far do we need to take the freedom? Like, should we actually tell people to fuck off if they're making decisions that are bad, right? And there needs to be something some sort of regulation to
Right,
prevent that because ideally
right.
we don't want people killing themselves, right?
Yeah, sure.
True. Yeah.
Okay,
So like the
as we
question
were-
is,
as
Okay.
we were saying, as I was trying to say, you're going to do tax and regulation. You're going to have, and this is what casinos are doing, and have a pretty good success rate as far as the amount of customers that are coming in and choosing this type of entertainment versus the amount of customers that are actually having a problematic form with this type of entertainment. It's pretty easy to kind of spot that. Now, do we want to talk about like the onus on the casino to monitor this one person? It seems like a terrible idea as far as like ineffective. I don't think it's impossible to do, but it usually seems to come out and be more effective if you talk about a self-report case where the gambler in question comes to the company and says, I need you to ban me from these grounds. When I was working security, what we would tell them is, we're part of Horseshoe Caesars Entertainment. If you can't be banned from these grounds, and then you also can't go to Harris Entertainment, which was a concert venue. So that's that little weird kind of like steering them away from like, maybe you should check more resources instead of like continuously banning yourself forever from all Caesars Entertainment sites, or we can still do that. That is a self-regulation that seems to be effective as of right now.
and it might be something like that where like if you register for a sports betting website, you also have to, I don't know, you can participate in like some sort of program, whether it's like through a contractor or through the government or whatever, that gives you like not necessarily therapy, but like some sort of like
the solution
to
that
get you prepared,
that
right?
sports betting had, the study that I had kind of briefly, I read the abstract, was talking about how they just ended up limiting the amount of deposits that you could do with your money, as far as like you can only make one daily deposit, like whatever the chosen number, whatever it was, from your bank account into the gambling account. And that seems to, at least from the study from like 2008, so it's been a while, and it's not as prevalent. Cell phones are way more prevalent than they are now. That type of limitation seemed to be more effective. And as a matter of fact, I think the study had said that if a disproportionate amount of people who did do more than one deposit daily actually had a tendency to win more. So that's probably where you're looking at your professional gambling class, as far as like they're really kind of trying to play these odds. They're really, usually not the ones that you have to worry about.
What about
So that
licensing?
sounds like
You're
my
right.
threshold argument, because that's what I'm saying. Like, it seems like people who have
Yeah.
like are higher earners who have the ability to like do the big level betting. Like, if you make below this threshold, you can do one deposit. If you make over this threshold, and you seem to have the funds to be able to.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, and if you wanted to make it kind of like what Mad Lab was talking about earlier, as far as like making sure that's not disproportionate in the idea of scale, I don't know why you would want to do this, but fine. Then you would just make it like, since poor people have physically less money, pick whatever number that poor people can donate and blah, 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 blah. Like,
I mean, well, the thing is, like, I wouldn't want to do something that's like, okay, you are in this financial bracket, thus you aren't able to participate as much. I would want it to be like some sort of like rate that's like,
You can't
even
universally
for
do these things. You have to. It has to be like. It has to be like. You have to fit people's brackets.
percentage.
It's the reason we have tax brackets now. That's like.
Well, tax brackets now are to create higher taxes for people who have more wealth. So it's not discriminatory because you have more resources, thus you should pay more. Versus
well,
what
it's discriminatory.
But I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, okay, discriminatory against folks with wealth.
Correct.
So it's not as
It's not-
awful
it's
as
not
say.
like a social discrimination.
Sure, but I'm just saying the point
As
is
say,
we
like,
understand that we don't
yeah,
treat.
right.
We understand that we like there's it's not useful to treat everyone in society like the same from a financial perspective. That doesn't get us anywhere.
No, but like for example, during the EBT SNAP benefits discourse, there was like this talk of like limiting people's ability to buy hot food because they're on EBT, and like that's ridiculous, right? Because like it's a penalization because you're on EBT, and like my point is that if you are poor, if you don't have money and you still want to participate in anything in society, we shouldn't be trying to restrict your capacity to do so just because you're poor, because that's not fair to you, because you're stuck in that quintile just based on being born in that quintile anyway. Like only 20% of the people in each quintile, each financial quintile, can escape their quintile and move on to a different one. But anyway, that's besides the point. I wanted to actually talk about licensing because there's this idea where I mean, we have gun licenses, driver's licenses, licenses to buy pot in some states, et cetera, et cetera. But if there's just a gambling license where you go through a training course where you can learn what resources you have if you become a problem gambler, the signs of becoming a problem gambler, et cetera, and then you get that cool license, and then you can participate in like all the gambling you want, stuff like that.
No, just because because gambling is a state thing. It's not like a federal thing. And
I mean, a driver's license is a state thing or a federal thing?
But my driver's license works in any state, and every state has a driver's license. I'm saying that like if you live in a state, every state has a.
They had to create that system, right?
No,
I'm saying we should just create that system.
But so
just like they did with driver's license.
But you're talking about making it federal. Like if like driver's license wouldn't be useful if there was.
I didn't say that.
I'm trying to explain the issue. Driver's license wouldn't be useful if there were states that it was illegal to drive. I'm saying like that it would be because it needs to be something that you can do that can be universally applied. Like having a gambling. Because having a gambling license, having to have a gambling license to gamble, and if you live in a state that gambling is illegal, you can't take a trip to Vegas for the weekend, without applying for a license.
Could. No, because so think of it like this, right? Like in 30 states, sports betting is legal. In 20 states, it's not legal. So in those 30 states, you could just have the license for sports betting. And if you want to visit a different state or visit a different country to participate in like I did the same thing, right? Like when I was my poker playing friend, right? It was making his living playing poker. I drove over the border to Canada and I did some online gambling and made $200, right?
Sure, but what if you had to have a I'm saying if you're from a state that doesn't have gambling is illegal, you can't have this license, so you can't go to another state to gamble.
Well, why not? Why not just apply to gamble in that other state? The states can be very, very reciprocal.
Because I'm only going for a weekend trip. Like the
So,
paper trail this
for
weekend.
example, okay, so like, for example, when you go boating in Michigan, okay, to be able to use like a jet ski in Michigan, you have to take this online class to about boating, and then you do the things, and then boom, you've got a boating license, and then you can go jet skiing. So I was only going to go jet skiing for a weekend on a lake in Michigan. Okay, I took this online class, got my license. It was all online. This was online a decade ago, even, and then I went ahead and had fun in Michigan doing that thing. Like, I don't see why this would be a problem. This wouldn't be that hard to set up. There's no like access limit if everybody has access to the internet anyway.
Well,
Oh, I'm going to go gamble in New Jersey? Sure. I'm going to go to New Jersey and get on my cell phone and do some sports betting. I better get that New Jersey license to gamble.
I don't know. It just seems
Right.
like this barrier to entry seems like
It's funny you say that.
really intense.
It's funny you say that because I live on the border of Connecticut and Massachusetts, and I have to drive 15 minutes just to place a bet. I go into Connecticut just to place a bet on an NFL game. It's stupid. It's like let's just.
I mean,
let's,
but that's
wait,
but that's
I'm sorry,
different.
why don't
But
you
that's
just use
states'
an-
rights, not like
I'm not
It's
trying
not
to
licensed,
promote
but it's-
anything,
but
but
it-
why don't you just use a VPN?
they have ways to get around it.
Oh,
They
you're
tried.
on the, okay. I got you.
Well, I mean, but like the point is, this is the states' rights problem. So yeah, it's stupid, but it's because like people insist on states' rights rather than federal like laws regulating gambling. So like if you're against states' rights, then yeah, sure, we should have it across the board, and like that's your problem right now, Rope Man. Actually, which is ironic because I believe you're a states' rights advocate, are you not? States get to decide what laws are happening in their state, things that should happen, the federal government shouldn't.
I don't want to have to drive 20 minutes to place a bet on the Bengals to win the Super Bowl.
And the reason why you are doing that is because you have states' rights, and your state has the right to decide that it's not legal, and then Connecticut has the right to decide that it is.
I agree. Go ahead.
So I mean, like, so in the same sense, like since we're using the states' rights to decide whether the gambling's legal or not, why shouldn't we have licenses in these states?
I don't know. It just that seems like a really big
It adds
step
an
every time
extra
somebody
barrier of
wants to
entry.
go.
Sure.
Every time
Because
somebody
it's
wants to
not
go
actually
anywhere,
a
they have to apply for a
problem.
license. Like I just don't like
not
imagine
every single
imagine
time.
if every time like if you wanted to go on a road trip, you had to apply for a license in each state you were going through. Like this just seems
Every
like
time you're a
stupid.
boat, every
That
time
would
you
be
want
like
to
different
boat,
countries. Yeah.
every time you want to
Stupid.
boat, you have to get a license to boat. Every time you want to use a gun and your license expired, you have to renew that license.
sure.
Some
but-
things come with licenses,
yes,
and
but
it's
that's
not
for
like
the state that
it's a
you
little bit
live
of an
in.
inconvenience.
Those are
But-
like
but, like-
specific things, though.
But
I mean, like
you're not
it's an
even-
Gambling's a specific
agreement with.
thing.
Well, it's okay, but that's not the primary what I meant. Like it's you're making an agreement with another person. Like you're entering a contract with another person. You're not operating a firearm or, driving a boat.
Well,
You're making an agreement.
Well, I mean, the operating a firearm or using a firearm or operating a boat device, whatever else. The reason why these licenses exist is because there's like some sort of risk, right? And
No,
like
it's
there's a license.
because no, it's not. That's not. It's because there's a risk, but it's because those are like tools or something. I mean, they're vehicles.
No,
They actually
well, it's
require
not the
like
tool. It's the like the type of risk, right? Like what happens if you misuse a firearm? What happens if you misuse a boat? What happens if you whatever?
Crash a car.
Like you
I mean,
die. If death is like a consequence, if your life being ruined is a consequence of misusing whatever it is, then we license it. And gambling is one of those things, is it not?
I mean,
No,
you
it's
could say
not.
that for anything.
The point that you're trying to address is the exact reason on why we don't have this in the first place. It's because it's not an issue that is requiring regulation.
Gambling
You
doesn't
don't want-
require regulation.
I do think
As
it
far
requires
as, like-
Illegal
regulation.
in a
I
bunch
think
of
it
states.
requires regulation.
As
Yeah, I
Because
wonder
it
if
could
it's
be
like-
extremely dangerous.
That's
Yeah, as
why
far
I
as-
think
That's
That's
why
why I
poker
brought
playing
up, but I
online
didn't
is
wanna-
illegal, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I brought up, but I didn't really want to get lost in the weeds at that point in terms of crypto gambling. But like crypto gambling is completely unregulated. This
And
is
it's fucking nuts, yo.
and it's
Like,
fucking
holy
nuts.
shit.
Yeah, and it's a bunch of people who are already
Oh, man.
inclined to gamble on cryptocurrency now gambling further with it's like meta. There's some meta gambling.
Because you don't even know
shit.
what
You're
you don't even know what your
to
gambling is
gamble.
worth. Like you don't even know what the crypto's worth when you like it's
No.
trading. I don't know.
It's
That
fucking
sounds
bad.
awful.
It's
Hey,
fucking bad.
Well,
it's how you make money, though. It's how you make money. You can
They
make.
can make. I
good
mean,
money.
risk
You can make a lot of money.
gives reward, right? Like if
sure,
you're
you can
ambitious,
also lose your
you need
money. I
risk.
mean, and
Even if
that's
you win
the
you
most
can win the
likely
bet
thing to
and
happen.
lose money. That's crazy.
You could lose. You could win. It's
Yeah, but that's of course. I think gambling should be legal. I think it should be regulated. I
Right.
like gambling. I play poker. I mean, I like gambling. I like some slots. Less slots now, but mostly poker. But like, I don't think that it should be illegal. I think that people should be able to do what they want. And if I'm going to be at all consistent, which I usually am not, usually not. But if I'm going to be at all consistent, and I think that somebody should like legally be allowed to snort cocaine and should be able to get cocaine from like a place where we know where it came from and it's stamped and approved and it's pure and that
Right.
sounds great. But like and that's the world
Sounds
that
like
I
we need a
think.
license for that.
Yeah, not a license.
Well,
To
no,
sell
to
it, yeah, for
prove-
sure.
no,
You would
no,
need a
not-
license
not-
to sell it.
Not just to
You would
sell
need
it.
a
Okay.
license to do it. Oh, that's ridiculous.
I mean,
Come on.
I think. Well,
do you
no,
need a
because,
license to gamble? Come on.
Well, I mean,
It's
so
the
you know
same-
that you're
I
buying
mean,
from a.
In a lot of ways,
okay.
it's the same concept. I'm gambling.
I mean, if
You know
someone,
that my heart's
So
not going to
should-
stop when I take a fucking sniff of this
I
cocaine,
mean, wait,
So
so that I
can
can
should
get
it-
a little bit of a hot.
So would it be better? So would it
What
be better?
other-
Okay.
Hold on, I want to
what
hear
are
from
the
Bencho.
risks?
Hasn't had a chance
What-
to talk.
What,
Bencho, please.
what are the risks that are not engaging in like specifically illegal behavior, like that are it's like you can't pay someone to kill someone or something like that, right? So, but what other things does the government tell you that you're not allowed to spend your money on because like it's too dangerous for you, or it's like wrong to do? I mean,
So
there's
talking about,
vices and
like-
things you can't, like there's things that are
Right?
illegal.
So, like for example, in the state of Virginia, you can only buy your liquor from Virginia state-owned store, right? And so, like, you could almost, I mean, you could make that the avenue for gambling. For example, you can make it like state-run, and that could create an opportunity for the state to actually decide what preventive measures should be involved, right?
We
I'm
already
kind of leaning
massively
towards
syntax.
this. Well, so I'm actually kind of leaning towards rather than licensing individuals on this because I'm actually inspired by these ABC stores. I would almost rather say that it would make sense for all these distributors of sports betting opportunities to be licensed. And one of the things they have to do because they're licensed is offer like that 2-week course on all their like new gamblers or something, right? Like some sort of
Orientation.
or yeah. that's a
Welcome
good
to the
word.
world of gambling.
Yeah, I think
You
that'd
gotta
be cool.
watch. You
I
gotta
think
watch.
that'd be awesome.
I
It's
think
like
that
blood
the-
on the pavement, and
I-
have it like be like blood in the casino.
Are you guys gonna gamble
Blood
on
on the
Super Bowl?
table. That's it. Blood on the table.
I
That's
don't
what
know
we
if
call
I
it.
agree
not?
with all that. Like maybe
Is
if
that-
you have to
that's
watch
just
a
what it would be.
2-minute video, and
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
you know what I would also
there's no numbers
appreciate.
out there.
You do that
But,
before
like-
you can use a
but,
gun
like,
range.
So with a regulated
Mm.
casino, it's very nice. You can press the little information button on whatever slot or whatever the fuck you're doing, and it will tell you the odds of the thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
And so it's straight up. It'll tell you like 96%. What is it? RTP or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That's straight up. That's being honest. I like that. And like they also do things unlike the crypto casinos. They do things like having maybe a $20 or $50 maximum spin instead of like if you watch Trainwreck here on Twitch.
Dude, that is
Uh,
insane.
He does $1,000+ spins.
That's and
each
but they pay
spin,
him
and
to
he's
do
going
that.
on the fastest
Do-
spin rate.
Do
too.
they
He's
pay
not
him to
even-
do that? Is he
I have
paid
no idea.
by the companies
I
to do
haven't
that?
looked into it. I have no idea.
I've heard that, and if that's true, that's weird, but it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, I mean, there's kind of that weird aspect of like the level of benefits that you get for spending that much amount of money too. So I guess you could kind of like, if you're at a certain level, like rewards member, then there could be like financial benefit that he finds
Yeah.
more valuable than that.
Have you guys ever been comped at a casino?
Yeah, you
I-
get some
I-
pretty fucking good comps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've gambled at a casino, and all of a sudden you have a guy come up to you, and he's like, "Here you go, sir. Here's this thing. Here's this. Here's free lunch. Here's free steak.
Oh,
Here's
dope.
your free
Hotel,
room."
Oh, they-
hotel stays, stuff like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Oh, they'll comp you like I straight up got comp like $120. Just flat money with no like strings attached. It was crazy.
Yeah.
That kept me on for like a month. I was on that fucking $120 for a month, just spinning away.
I
You feel
mean,
like
Fun.
a
It was
baller.
great. It was a
You feel
great
like a
little like
rapper.
fucking
You're
serotonin.
chilling.
I was going through a lot at the time. It wasn't about fucking hitting big. I wanted to, play fucking the slots and not bet that much money on per spin. And like, it was nice. It was cathartic. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
I'm
was
about to say,
worth
me and the
it, in my
boys is like,
opinion.
planning a trip to Vegas, and like all of us like are completely fine with losing money. That is not like we're not going to win money. Like it goes back to what Redhead was saying earlier. Like people do, like it is a fun time. Like all right, we're gonna put the suits on. We're gonna be clean. We're gonna go, throw some dice.
yeah,
Like and like go home, lose all our money, and we'll be completely satisfied. Like no one's
right.
gonna be upset. Like man, we spent lost like $500. Oh well,
Now make
We
sure
had a
you
great
get
time.
your
Like, there's
license
people-
before you get there. So you're
Right.
Well, the
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
is though, well, I mean, like it might not be bad considering like what people decide to do. Like I do know some people who paid their rent by going to casinos and collecting money from folks who intended on losing money at the poker tables, right? Like every month they would like one weekend every month they go to the casino, they play poker, there'd be a lot of fish, they take the money and then they're good, right? And that's fine. I'm not saying that that's like a bad thing necessarily. I'm just saying that if we want to protect the folks who are most at risk to ruining their lives, then we need to distribute material some way in a universal manner, since we don't know who's going to be problematic and who's not, and make sure that everyone knows how to get out if they're starting to get sucked in. That's all.
Are you trying to
And
increase
I'm very
regulations?
flexible here.
Are you trying to increase?
I don't
Would you apply this to anything else like alcohol? We understand how we understand the level of like.
I'm
hey,
a license to drink alcohol, please.
I mean, we already
Bad
have
life
it.
can't-
It's
nothing is
21.
ridiculous
Oh, that is
at this point.
not the same thing. Please do not.
And then, like,
try to
also,
say that
I would
that's
say-
the
and then
same
also-
thing.
Because I think
Wait,
alcohol
you're
is
just
bad. I
nitpicking
don't
my
even
words
drink.
more
I think
than
alcohol is
McNuggets,
bad.
all right?
And the thing is, like, the thing is, like, you guys are making it sound like it's like this horrible thing. Like, oh no, there's going to be a license to do this and a license to do that.
You want to
But, like,
control.
It doesn't necessarily have. I mean, and we could talk about the economy that comes from having the licensing. There's going to be people who would be paid to train folks on how to deal with the problem drinking, right? Like, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Like, I don't know. Like, it's a foreign idea, and I'm not saying that I'm 1,000% behind it. If you guys have like very valid arguments besides what a shit idea, then I'm happy to hear it. But all I'm hearing is, wow, this is a shit idea, way too much, et cetera, and not any concrete reason why we shouldn't do it.
Again,
The reason that you wouldn't want to do it is because you're not addressing a large, widespread problem.
Problematic drinking is not a problem. How many people have been alcoholics in their lives? Raise your hand if you.
What are you talking? I'm
drunk
talking
way too
about
much alcohol.
gambling, you pup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
raise your hand
I
if
was
you
asking a
wasted way
different
too much money
question.
gambling then. Like,
I don't have a
I've
problem. How
blown-
fucking dare you accuse
I've
me of having
definitely
a
blown
problem?
money on
What the fuck?
gambling that I shouldn't have blown. Like, I've
This
definitely
is
done
my
something
cocaine,
that
and
you're
I
questionable,
will spend
right?
it when I need it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been
Like-
an alcoholic and a drug addict.
Mhm.
I mean, like, my form of
Not
gambling
a
is a little
gambling
different
addict
from-
yet, though. I don't.
Yeah,
think.
I mean, like, I've definitely gone down some rabbit holes I definitely shouldn't have in terms of addiction, right?
Well, yeah.
And like,
I mean, even
my
with your
point
chess
here-
tournaments, like the concept of you like,
Whoa.
oh, you buy into your chess tournament, like what he said, like, no, we can't have money for your chess tournaments because that's, I mean,
well, I mean, yeah, that could be a thing actually. Like, there's some like, I'm sure you could technically say that like making money from a chess tournament might be considered gambling, absolutely, and that would be something that I would be very upset
I
about.
know, I'm sure a lot
True.
of masters, yeah, like would be.
Well, no, because the masters compete against each other, right? So like everybody competes within their bracket.
But I'm saying, like,
Yeah,
I'm sure the masters would be
Whatever,
like
guys.
pissed because I would assume masters are generally the people who make like their livings based off of this. Like, there's as far as
Yeah, but like you don't make your living from playing the game. You make your living most of the time from teaching people how to play.
okay,
You're not going to, like, anybody who goes on a chess tournament circuit to try to make money, they're going to be really disappointed. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately.
I don't know. I feel like they would still be pissed if they said that they couldn't.
I mean,
they
if you're the
lost
world
this-
champion-
this avenue.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the world champion, if you're Hikaru Nakamura, and like you're playing in events that you can win $200,000 in, absolutely, I bet that would piss them off because that is how they make their livelihoods for sure. But if you're like anything besides like the top 10 in the U.S., then no.
But so this goes back to what I was trying to say about like everything that we've been talking about being as a negative sum game, meaning that like most people are going to lose. Like it's basically upon entering one of these bets, you're immediately down.
Yes.
And so
I
you
like
have
the
to
use of
make
the word
that back
on.
and then some. So and that's why I would say, most people are going to lose money gambling. And I think the same thing, bless you, the same thing is, consistent with the markets or anything like that. I mean, speculating is speculating for a reason.
So I mean,
but sports is
so,
like
like,
the best form of this. Like I said,
well, it's just like
for all the reasons we said earlier, sports is like
sports
the
might be
most the healthiest version of it.
yeah, and I guess I just don't want to. I don't want us to get lost in this. Like, there's nobody on the other end who's losing. Like, I really hate it in the stock market when people go like, "Oh, it's just hedge funds, blah blah blah." No, there's a bunch of regular people with their accounts and their fucking their 401ks riding in the stock market and shit. Those people are affected too, and they're buying and selling as well all the time. Like,
not to distract from the topic, but I'm going to tell you guys a dark secret. Me and some other chess coaches have gambled on Scholastic chess. Like, we've got kids that we like train and we send them to like the state championships, and we'll actually bet hundreds of dollars.
Hell yeah.
On the score of the kids as they participate in these events.
This is going to be a fight.
It's the most fucked up thing.
Is this
right here?
And let me ask: Are these people doing online gambling on their phone?
The people
maybe they need to be. Maybe they need to be. I'm throwing that out there. Like, we don't have to bet on everything.
Right. Well, like, part of the conversation or the question of the panel was kind of that. I mean, I don't know if that's exactly what Prime had in mind, but I knew that, like, that is a thing, and ease of access is gonna.
Dylan, what's going on, man?
The averages, you're gonna have more people with gambling problems, right? So, not that there isn't a problem. It's more like, what is the percentage of a problem, and like, what is the best way to address it? And it seems, as of right now, the best way that we're addressing it is having people self-report. I think it's a fair kind of question to bring up. If I have a problem, I'm going to notice it, and then I'm only gambling through my phone. Who the fuck do I self-report to? Right? So I think that is going to kind of like require some logistical issues that have to be addressed.
Right. So it would be the sports betting website that would have to record the wins and losses, right? And then, like,
yeah, I'm sure they could show you like your percentage. I bet poker apps probably do this too.
Yeah, and like, if your percentage is like bad enough, they can start doing interventions and stuff. And then you could probably do the thing where you check on the regulation. There's that word. The thing you do with like bank tills and stuff. You count it. You well, come on.
I think you're. Well, hold on, because I think
balance it. I don't know.
Well, I think your problem is the first part, as far as like, I have a really high losing I have a really low losing percentage, as in like I frequently lose more often than not. Just because you frequently just fucking get the green weenie and you constantly fucking lose doesn't necessarily mean that you have a problem or an issue, right?
Wait, is that the technical term for losing? Is getting the green weenie?
No,
I've never heard that one, but
it's a veteran thing.
Oh, okay.
It's like being screwed over by the military, but that was and that's what came to
I'm
mind.
with it now. I get it.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure it out, because like, wouldn't you want the green winnie if it's like money?
No, no, you getting fucked, dog. You getting fucked.
My money. I thought it was a money thing, not a military thing. I get it now.
Right. They'll pay you. Like, you're gonna get paid, but you're still getting fucked.
So
it's probably just like likely that even winners, even the professional gamblers, probably have a losing winning percentage, but they probably like they come out positive on the profit end, but they probably they still probably lose more bets than they win. Like, I don't think you can outdo that. You just know when to up your bet.
Exactly. It's like in the market, and I think in poker, there's this, like, you have to control the amount of risk that you're taking. So it's like in the market, that might be with you're gonna buy some Apple, and so instead of just going all in all at once with the money that you have, you buy some over time. So like every week you put you buy 10 shares or whatever the fuck your budget is. And it's the same with like a hand in poker. You're not gonna unless you think that you're fucking double aces or something. Exactly. But maybe the other motherfucker has some a goddamn royal flush. I don't, you don't know.
Right.
Yeah, like I
You're
fucking
gambling. You're gambling.
exactly. I always go in on 6-9 though, offsuit every single time.
Why?
You go in
Because that's just poggers.
Because he's a
Hello?
man. He's a dedicated man.
Exactly.
offsuit too, huh?
No, seriously, I did. I did that for the lulz. It was a $3 game. Don't.
That's $3 that you'll never get back, you son
It's
of a bitch.
true.
I'm worried about you.
It's true.
All right.
You might have a problem. You might want to have to
You're
contact
showing
somebody.
me signs.
Yeah.
All right.
If I told you that I
Lose your
won the hand,
license.
would you even believe me?
Yeah.
So, like,
Dude, I got
I
two
mean,
pair. You
you
wouldn't
got a
even believe
Dyson
me.
fan in the background. I know you're fucking loaded, so don't even bullshit
Shut
me.
up. Dude, I live in San Francisco. Please stop
Sorry.
talking about me. Give me your. I still accept money. God damn it.
What are you
So-
paying? Like $3,000 for rent?
Oh god.
Something shy of that, yeah.
holy shit.
Ooh, that's a lot, man.
Holy.
That, by the way, his front door is like a medium.
No, I'm in a closet right now. Okay.
Plotting him out, dude.
And
It's like
that- and
LA.
that's it.
He's got,
And
like,
that's my entire.
doors
That's my.
right.
That's the whole.
It's my entire. It's my entire apartment.
The
yeah.
Futurama like,
Jesus.
vendor.
So,
Why would you want to live in the closet? Yeah. I
So,
think the interesting part about like what sports game.
You're chopping.
You got
Yeah, you're
super
trying.
quiet.
About that.
No, it's still
Nah,
quiet.
Didn't do anything. You just left up your audio.
Yeah.
I mean,
go
I
ahead,
think.
Matt- So
Oh,
you,
just- I was
Captain
gonna
H. Jones
reply to
can
that.
go, and then Mad Latin, and if Roman wants something, because he hasn't had a chance to talk in a while.
Yeah, so I generally, just to answer that question, I generally think like that the more online gambling sites there are that are legit, regulated, et cetera, the better for the end consumer. Like when Robinhood, for just to give it like a good example, I think like in the stock market. The other thing that I think I know more about that, but like when Robinhood did no commission trading, basically it forced everybody else to do it, and that was such a benefit for small traders, because if you're like, imagine you're paying $10 to get in and out of a trade pre Robinhood. If you only have $200, you're literally, that's 10% just of that $200 is gone just from commissions. So like, I generally think that the more brokers and the more they have to compete that there are, the better it is for the consumer, because they're all competing against each other for us as their customer. Like I don't like Robinhood. Fuck Robinhood, because there's so many better alternatives now. Like, but if you wanted free commissions and you didn't have a lot of money, Robinhood was like basically the only thing you could do.
Does everyone hear that ringing?
I thought it was me. I thought it was crazy.
Yeah, that's.
I was losing my mind. I'm going to die.
It might
Is that
be.
on me?
I don't know. It might be
did you
redheaded man.
adjust yourself?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
him.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go to Mad Latin.
Jesus.
Wait, is it me?
No, it's
No,
not you. Redhead. It was a redheaded man. You're good. Redheaded man, then Road Man. If he has to say anything to say, go ahead.
I guess I wanted to go back to like just figure out what the regulation should be, because like I guess everybody's like hard passing on the whole like everybody gets a license, whatever. Right? That's fine. I can live with that. It's cool. We can get into experimentation a little later. I mean, I guess licenses are a little too crazy for y'all. It's fine. So licensing the big distributors, and then or the distributors of the SIN and or product or whatever, and then ensuring that they like take care of folks who are losing at a certain percentage or are losing a certain amount of wealth or whatever. Were we all on board with that? That makes sense to everyone?
Well, so
Yeah.
I generally don't exactly like that, because it requires so much from the consumer to just start. You're like asking them for like to prove more than it would take to get a credit card. Like,
What would
I
the
don't-
consumer be doing to participate in this if it's the distributor that's getting the licensing? So like,
oh,
we
I thought
saying
you were
that-
going back to. I'm sorry. You
nah,
say you're off the-
everybody had a huge problem with it, and and nobody
Okay,
can make a
so we're
reason
off
this
the. Okay,
time.
I apologize. I apologize. We're off.
Okay, you
the
actually gave me a good
you were
individual
talking about people are
licenses.
losing. Like, what would happen if, like, are okay with the concept of you lose so much they cut you off for a while?
Yeah, like what would the threshold be, or how would that work as a regulation? Like, I'm sure people can throw darts in the idea, but can we like find a way of making those darts not apply anymore?
I mean, I guess it's kind of relative though. Like for Trainwreck, for instance, if he is making real bets, I don't know. I think he is, but I don't know. It's
He's
entertaining
paid to.
nonetheless.
He's paid to by the companies.
Sure, but doesn't he put his own money in there?
I don't
Like
know.
a lot of his own money, even if he's getting a good rake back and all that.
I don't know.
Anyway, I just don't want to
I
make
would
any
assume
claims
so.
that I don't know. Like you know, to him, the $1 million may not be that much if he's worth 30 or 40 or whatever he's worth. I don't know how much.
So
I would look it up, but fuck Google.
participants have
Yeah.
to like go through like a credit check or like something?
Credit check. Now you're really
know.
talking about excluding
Look,
people.
I'm just
Like,
trying to figure.
oh,
I'm just trying to figure out what we
credit
could go through.
Hold
Look,
on.
I'm just trying to find something.
Who's waving
Like,
the Chinese nationalist flag right now?
Who-
Okay.
Who are you trying to stop from gambling? Who's really
sorry.
like who's the person who's
Shut- we have a-
gambling who you want to stop? Is it
I'm just trying to
We have
everybody?
figure
a
out-
social credit score as well. Like, Mad Lad, please tell us.
no,
How far
true.
would you
Actually,
go?
the social credit score would be a really good idea. So every
got
time
the
like someone's
Bengals.
an ad, no, I'm kidding.
A
Bengals.
gambling score like that. I'm trying to think of a concept like to create a
Ooh,
new
gambling score.
like.
Yeah,
Are
there you
we-
go.
Good one.
Losers just get
Are we
cut
taking
off.
Essentially,
bets?
Social
Are we taking
Security
bets?
number.
But you don't
Let's
even
take
have
bets.
to. You don't have to like. I could. I mean, I can't create. I haven't created this thing. This is like a like in my head. But I could see a process of like a website says that like, oh, okay, you've lost $25,000. Take a break. Like
Yeah.
if your account balance is like if you like registered for less than like 100K, you lost $20,000 this week. Take a break. You need to.
But that's
need
what
to
call
withdraw.
it-
crypto is all
call
about.
it
You don't keep
Experian
all
2,
your money
okay?
in the brokerage. You keep it in
I
your.
think-
We'll call it Experian 2. It'll be a gambling score, and every gambling organization will participate. You see, so we could even include it for the chess tournaments, right? So if you put money into a chess tournament and you blow the tournament, you lose some gambling score points, right?
Oh,
And we
you're
just do it with
calling it
everything.
insurance or something? Oh, okay. It's just yeah.
I
it's
have-
And
just-
then
I have.
There we go.
I
called your
I have
gamer
a-
tag, dude.
We should just
I
have
ha-
gamblers insurance.
we should do it. We should. We
I was
should.
gonna
We should do.
say, we could even take it further, right? If your gambling score is low, you can actually pay other people to gamble for you. They already do that, right?
Okay.
So you can
Will, what did
take
you
your
want to
high
say?
gambling score
Oh, God.
and use it and market it, and we could build an economy off of this. You see,
I
because that's
think-
very important.
I think we could build this.
Okay,
I think
okay,
this is
okay,
actually
okay.
this is like a little one of them little tech startups. We should all get
I
on
have.
this.
I
promise it
have
would
a-
make money.
right here. Right here. Right here.
How would
right
it
here.
make money?
Here we
I
go.
guess.
Who has the Bengals?
Real man, go ahead.
Who has the Bengals on the chat? Who has the Bengals?
Oh,
Dude, I don't even know who they're playing.
It's the Rams. It's
Bengals,
LA.
Rams. Bengals, Rams.
Rams? The Rams?
Well, Tigers eat Rams, so
Kurt
obviously we
Warner back
got
or something?
There's
So-
clearly
so-
no
so-
football
so-
fans here. Like
So
the Rams
listen,
are the
listen,
favorites.
listen. In the topic of discussion, let's say if the Bengals win, I want the Bengals to win. Who wants the Bengals to win? Raise your hand.
I like Joe Burrow. I like T. Higgins.
One,
but
I like
two,
their
I like
three,
outfits
Tigers.
four.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I like their outfits better.
I want them to, but I wouldn't put my money with
Okay.
them.
Okay.
I'd put
So-
your
Money
money
with
with
them.
them.
If the Bengals win, whoever doesn't have their hand raised up has to sub to these channels right now.
Okay. All right, we're gonna do this for. Okay. All right, I'm excited about this. I'm gonna do a sports bet, guys. Okay.
I
all right,
just
let's
don't
go.
know.
I'm
Let's
rooting for the Bengals.
Let's go.
Who is against the Bengals?
I'm
Who
for
wants
the
the Rams to
Bengals.
win?
I want the
So
Bengals
for
to
the-
win.
Okay,
Okay,
These are different questions. I want the Rams to win, but like I want the Bengals to win, but they're definitely not the favorites. Like if I had to
Alright,
decide right
alright.
today, the Rams
What,
are
what
So
are the
probably
there's
points at right
two-
now? Are they
There's
at
2
six?
anti-Bengals and 4 pro-Bengals, right? So what
So we
we'll
got-
do. Oh, go ahead. You're gonna do this. Go ahead. I'm excited though.
We got Bam and Brento.
Flip
the
a coin
Rams,
for me,
right?
dude. I don't know, but sure. Okay, yeah, I'll take it because it's better odds, right? I'll take
So
it.
Bam
That
and
means
Brento.
worse odds, higher pay.
So Bam and Brento for the Rams, and all 4 of us for the Bengals. If the Bengals win, Bam and Brento have to sub to all of our channels. If
Is this
the
That's
Rams,
backwards.
I don't win anything. All I win is
Yeah.
less than nothing.
hold
I
on,
guess.
hold on. But if the Rams win, then we will sub to your channel.
Oh, okay.
Is that fair?
All right, I'll take it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's do it.
Wow.
Let's
That's
do
a
it.
We're just,
sports bet.
and now we're just
Did we just commit a
discriminating against
crime? I don't
people who
know.
aren't affiliates. That's really fucked up.
No, what's
That's
really
really
exciting by
fucked
this?
up. Now we're
what's
just
really fucked
this
up
is
here-
like the credit score all over again.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I'm not
It
an
is.
affiliate.
Like
This
a
is great
fucking
I don't
credit
injustice.
score.
even
No.
deal with Twitch. I mean, like,
Is this
I'm
emotional
live right
sensation?
now.
Like, is this what it feels like to sports bet? Like this joy I have.
You feel that? You feel that
No,
feeling?
I mean,
This is
I
the
guess,
beginning.
Yeah,
How much should I bet on? Like, is there a sports betting website? I need one now.
you might
All
want
right,
to.
all right.
Bet,
do this.
bet
But
online.
honestly,
All
like
I
you
feel
might-
like this
honestly,
every
y'all
day
haven't cared
forever.
about this. Y'all
No,
haven't
don't do
cared
that.
about the
Don't do
Super
that.
Bowl at all. Like this is like obviously this is a joke, but I'm sure like even if you don't
not
care
a
about
joke.
sport, no, I'm just saying like even if you're not like super invested in sports, I'm sure man like you may be curious to check the score tomorrow just cause.
Yeah, I'll look. For
And
one.
that may be fun. Like even if you don't watch it, you be like, I wonder who did win though. Like what? Blah, blah, blah.
I mean, no, I'm gonna look, and I'm gonna follow through.
Yeah.
Roadman's already like obligated me somehow. I don't know why this worked, but
There's
like,
supposed to be a
I'm gonna
baller
sub
ass
to
like
you and
halftime show
Brento.
this year too,
if-
right?
If the Rams win, I will sub to Black American Made and Brento Box. But
Yep.
if the
So wait,
Bengals
here's the
win-
thing. Wait, here's the
Go
thing.
ahead.
If I lose, I have to sub to 4 channels, right? But if you
Yeah.
guys lose, you only have to sub to 2.
Yeah, that's the odds thing.
That's fucking stupid. I don't want to do that.
But the odds are that the Bengals are gonna win.
But
or something.
I don't even know who the fucking teams are who is playing.
Come on.
It's
You know
just
what?
a
I'm
shitty
live-
bet.
I'm
Why would I
live
take
on
a
Twitch
shitty
right
half
now.
of a bet I don't even fucking care
It's
about?
20
Hold on,
bucks.
let's look at the
It's
Super
20
Bowl
bucks.
odds. Super
it's
Bowl
20
odds.
The,
like-
the Rams are the
Here's the
favorites.
thing you don't know. Want to get shit on? Like, no. What, I guess.
All right.
Is this a straight up?
Like, I
This
would
is a
take
straight
the,
up
I'll
bet.
take. Wait, I'll take the Bengals then. I'll just fucking take the Bengals. 'Cause-
No,
right,
no,
I'm on
no,
the
no,
Bengals
no,
side. No.
I
Yeah,
guess,
no.
I'll switch over to no.
I mean, y'all can.
Okay,
'cause like I said,
all right.
they aren't
I
favorites.
don't know how far we can get up to this.
Yeah.
More on the subject, anyone?
Wait, hold on. I want to sports bet. I want to finish.
Hey,
this.
Brett, Destin, I need you to stop unmuting yourself on StreamYards. We're using Discord for audio. So,
Oh, we're
mute
using
yourself.
disc. Okay.
yeah, you're coming in double now. So please, Discord. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
good.
Madeline, yeah, I want to get back to the topic because I'm not sure how far we can get with this.
Right.
But fine. Okay, but
Yeah, it's fine.
okay, hold on. I'm really invested in this, so just give me a second.
See,
Sorry,
he's
I'm
already
I'm just gonna.
addicted.
Hey, Mad Lad. I'm
Your-
just
your
gonna.
score is
I'm gonna
dropping.
DM you the site that I use.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Good. We're
Generally,
gonna sports bet.
yeah. I mean, like, I think sports betting is about. I mean, it's about as 50-50 of a bet as you can get, and I think that's about as the best odds you're ever gonna find in like speculating or gambling. So like I like it. You know, I don't do it myself because I don't watch sports, so I think like that part is lost on me. But like for sure, when I'm invested in a stock, like I have kind of the same emotions like you were describing, Robeman. Like you know, getting excited over like a good earnings report that you don't have any fucking idea whether it's going to be good. You know,
Yep.
you guessed, you speculated, you know, you and then it's a good feeling. And of course,
So-
you know, the opposite happens too. And you know,
Let's take it down. Black American Made and Brento. You guys are for the Rams, right?
I would only do it if you gifted me 2 subs to my channel.
Stop with this. No,
There's four.
we're
There's
doing
four
this.
of us.
I-
There's 4 of us.
Yes.
No, I
subbing to you.
mean, I'm
It's
not
the same
making the
thing,
bet
right?
just because I don't. I think this is a close enough game that I wouldn't bet on. But
All right, fuck it.
What are the points?
Roban. All right. Just fuck it. Roban. Me and you, head to head. I'm just gonna switch sides. I'm gonna pick the Rams.
I
You pick
believe
the
in
fucking
that's a better
Bengals,
bet.
and then we'll just fucking do it. All right? Because everybody else is
I want
not
the
willing to take the
Bengals.
risk.
I want the Bengals because my last name's McPherson. The kicker is McPherson. Let's go, baby.
All right.
Let's
All right.
go.
So I'm gonna go for the Rams. I'm changing sides. Fuck it. If the Rams win, you're gonna sub to my channel, and then if the Bengals win, I will sub to your channel.
right,
y'all
deal.
have made this so confusing.
Cool.
I am out.
Handshaky.
I am out. I'm like the
Or
fucking
pinky
shark
swear or
on
whatever.
Shark Tank.
Yeah.
I'm out.
But
All right.
I don't
I'm
know.
ready.
Yeah, I think close like overall, yeah. I it's Oh yeah. Does anyone? This is the conversation I want to have from the beginning, since we kind of aired out everything. Does anyone think that you could stop it? Like, and not like,
Yeah.
do you think we could really stop the concept of human beings betting on anything but sports in this case?
No, it would be like trying to
No,
stop
no.
drinking and prohibition. It wouldn't work.
But there's online sports betting, and online sports betting is different. That's why I framed the question the way I did, because there is right now we're being inundated with these things, right? These specials and all these things, these offers are based on you having a cell phone and being able to access this all the time. You don't have to go to a casino. You don't have to pick yourself up and go to a casino. There's no bouncer. There's no redheaded man in front, right? Who could potentially ban you from the premises. There's a bunch of options available to you all the time in your pocket. It's a different animal.
You don't need the casino to bet. Like there, we think
That's
of the
what I'm
casino,
saying.
But
You
I'm
don't need a
but I'm
casino.
saying
You have
we don't
an
need a
app.
phone. I'm saying if you didn't have an app, if you didn't have any of these things, like I said, I lived in a state where there at one point where there was no gambling and people met up at people's houses, like they had like a whole thing. Like
But obviously that's not the same. Obviously the access to the ability to gamble isn't the same. Yes, some people will overcome that,
but I don't know if it's some
barrier.
people. I think most people. Who
Every
want to
single person. So you were saying that every single person who's been sports gambling, right, in recent years online would have otherwise been doing the exact same thing, despite that, if there was no online app. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, there were not every single person. I wouldn't go that extreme.
Oh, okay.
But
Well,
I don't think it would be a meaningful. Like I don't think you would like stop a meaningful percentage that you think you are.
I think you have any numbers for that. I think you're pulling that out of your ass.
You're
Is what I
absolutely
think
right.
you're doing.
But it's a good pool. I'm willing to put money on that pool. That's a good bet.
What are we betting on now?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm ready. I'm like, this thing is addictive. I'm fucking in.
Let's
The
go.
Sam thing got me started. Now we're gonna bet on facts. What are the facts?
Big,
I
yeah.
kind of get distracted by the whole looking at odds thing.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that people would really enjoy betting. I think that people will find a way.
Yeah, I remember. Jesus Christ, I must have been 14 years old in high school. Fucking gambling, shooting fucking dice in the goddamn bathroom. Like, okay, I'm just saying, like, yeah, the fucking, for fucking single dollar bills. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we were doing.
So addressing the phrasing of the question, is it you two saying like, yes, even though it'll be more accessible, you don't really think the numbers are going to change?
Not dramatically. Like I think it's I think to the same degree that we like. I think it's as human as banning making having homosexuality being illegal. Like made no. I think it's that close to like humanity. Like humanity.
No.
I mean, I would just say I don't know.
I know I went hyperbolic
like
but
that.
I'm saying that like
that was a little. I would just say, look,
I believe in. I think you're right.
But humans like to take risk. Why do people climb a fucking boulder and whatever?
It shouldn't be allowed to do
they
that.
Get their rocks off.
That should be illegal.
That. Yeah, exactly.
Not allowed to do that.
I would never.
But the phrasing of the
things.
question is, with it being more accessible, do you think that the numbers are going to change and it'll become a bigger problem?
Absolutely.
So I think that the numbers. So hold on. I think that the numbers could look like they change because how are you going to poll somebody who's not online? How are you going to figure out that somebody not online is gambling in their real life? Like
Mad
that's
Lad. Mad Lad.
No, that's literally
this is the dumbest argument.
Hold on, Prime.
No.
Prime, hold on. The reason that we think that gambling is going up is because we see numbers associated with websites like DraftKings. We see their numbers exploding. Oh, the amount of users and the amount of money, blah, blah, blah. But there's we don't know how much these people were gambling outside in their real life before that. That's what I'm trying to say. We actually just don't have that data. And I don't think that there's a reliable way to get it unless we maybe.
So maybe the fair
and now we have to brainstorm ideas on how.
Would the paraphrasing end up being like this will make people who don't normally gamble actually participate in this gambling activity? Do you feel like that would be fair?
Yeah, I think it's fair.
It's gonna be wild when Mad Lad subs to my channel when McPherson kiss the game winner, baby. Let's go.
Okay,
No, knock it off. I want to focus on this. Don't get fucking distracted.
I'm not gonna get distracted. I promise I won't get distracted. I promise.
Okay.
I'm about to make a very nice point here. It's going to be good. I promise. All right. So we're talking about whether or not accessibility will cause people to be more likely to gamble. And we have like a perfectly clear example of this happening, right? Like I was not going to risk money at the Super Bowl at all. And then all of a sudden someone gave me access just because I happened to be with someone who wanted to gamble, right? So like the notion that accessibility won't increase numbers is ridiculous. 30 states have it as legal. 20 more states making it legal will mean that there will be people in those 20 states who will then proceed to participate in this process, and it will cause some problems. There will be people who will risk way too much, and we need to find a regulation that will prevent them from risking too much of their money in the system.
Right.
Sub to me.
Can I just say, can I just say something really quick? I think like it could be, I think if you actually do have to travel to gamble, then it could be, it's healthier maybe even than just, oh no, actually I think it's as bad as it would still be healthier than sitting online gambling to a screen. Like that there's any kind of a social element, I think is actually like, if there's anything healthy about it, that's it. And if you remove that, I think it's almost like, it might just be like a pure vice.
Yeah, I don't like that idea either.
I'm not
because
saying you
who
should
says
ban
that
it.
socializing is the way to go, especially with the coronavirus. I gotta fucking
that's
risk
like,
my goddamn.
That's like the
This
greens that come along. It's like you have to eat your vegetables. Like that's
you get
part
a
of it.
Discord server for Caesar's Palace, whatever the fuck, online betting, blah 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 blah, where you talk about your.
Were there not people you had to remove from the premises if you were working in front of a casino?
Gambler?
Yeah.
Mad
Yeah.
Lad, I want that
okay.
sub.
So there were people you had to remove from the premises. People that like, hey buddy, you got to go home, and they said no, I'm not going to go home, right? And then you and your security guard pals, right, showed them that. Well, yeah, I guess you're wrong about that. Any which way, like imagine being a problem gambler, but you're sitting. It's on your phone. You can access it everywhere, right? And let's say that a online casino like has tools, right? And they can remove a problematic gamblers. But then you go to the next one immediately, right? And you don't just do this. Like you have other responsibilities, and that's the thing that can remove a person. Like hey, I got my kids, right? And it pulls me out of the fog of gambling, right? Oh, I gotta go pick up my kids. But you can do that while you're at their fucking school, waiting them to come out to the car. You can do that at your work.
I think casinos are more than that.
And to think that, and the dumbass thought that this is not going to increase gambling significantly. Like, what the fuck?
I don't
like,
think
honestly, and especially among the people who've never tried before, right? If they're giving offers, like, I will give you $1,000 or I'll match your initial deposit or some shit like that, right? And it's on your phone. It's easy, it's risk-free, and it's constant. And you don't have to go to Vegas. That this wouldn't increase gambling. This is a dumbass thought.
I don't think so. I'm gonna tell you why. Because like
you believe
casinos
the same
are
thing
so
Are we actually having this debate?
Wait, hold on.
Because hold on. Let me tell him why specifically. I don't think because like casinos are so much more than like win money, lose money. Like there's when there's usually no windows, there's usually no clocks. They're passing around, they get the drinks going. When you hit big, when you hit win, like lights go off, there's music going. Like there's a lot of things that like keep you in that. That like
they do that in apps.
Bam! I'm just gonna let me just undercut you right now.
Your phone application like vibrating. Like I think that there's like I said, there's gonna be a level of people who have problems, but I don't think it's gonna be the same level of like investment.
I just want to say,
hold on. 1 year ago, there was speculation in Bitcoin and in GameStop. And how many motherfuckers were like, holy shit, easy money, sitting on their goddamn phones, monitoring it every fucking day. I lost 2 weeks of actual work speculating in Bitcoin and fucking GameStop. Like just fucking around, all right? There's no fucking way that there's like they're gonna make an app that doesn't create that same sense of fucking engagement that's gonna pull people in. That's like a common problem with technology. There's apps where you don't make any fucking money at all, but you're still invested in spending hours and hours of time fucking messing around with that app. And you're telling me that the app is going to be somehow not interesting enough to keep people invested.
I'm just saying.
No, app designers know how to pull people in. It is different. But still addictive. Different, but addictive.
There are game apps that you go to conferences where they're designing like mobile game apps, right? And they talk about, okay, here are the addictive practices that we can put in place within our app to keep people coming back, right? Hitting all those gambling tendencies. And they're honest. They're not hiding behind it. They're like, you can watch it on YouTube where they talk about, here's the things that you do, the mechanisms you put in place, right, to capture whales, to keep them there, to keep them invested. Yes, you can do it to them mobile app. There's been discourse for this for like 15 years about how phones can be addictive, and they're not using that addictive word for no fucking reason, because they actually have conventions and practices that they're using to actually do that, to make you an addict, to make you keep checking.
But I'm saying that
How is this new to you?
I'm saying that people who do these things, like people who jumped in on GameStop or whatever, like these were people who were doing some other form of gambling beforehand. Like the thing is, we're just gonna have a better way of like statistically tracking it. Like
Before
we're gonna,
gambling, I wasn't. I just showed up and did it.
We're gonna say like, oh, it's a spike. Oh my goodness, but the people were probably doing something else like with their money.
No,
I'm saying gambling people generally gamble. Like they're already doing it somewhere.
Yes, they did. Yes, agreed. Yes, this is another path for fucking degenerates. True, but we can also get more degenerates who might not
I have feelings. I have feelings, you know.
Might not also have done it previously. When you lower the barrier of entry, do you agree this is lowering the barrier of entry, and that means more people come?
Guess I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
No. Yes or no. No. I don't know me. Like, is this not a lower barrier of entry?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
And then what does that mean?
But I don't. But those people are already doing something. They're already giving their money to
No!
something else.
Oh my God!
They
No, you
are.
do it again.
Yes.
No, don't worry.
They
Don't
are.
worry.
I'm sorry, bro.
I'm not
just
gonna let you
Like,
escape this.
this is
I'm
real,
not gonna let
bro.
you escape
In the
this,
streets,
right?
They
But
really
because
already betting. Bro.
everyone,
It
not
is what it
everyone in the
is.
world was a fucking gambler.
They was.
Before,
They already
right?
was. I promise they were.
No, they weren't.
promise
Like,
they were.
okay, this is where you're being dishonest.
They're
Okay,
degenerates.
whatever. All right.
They
I don't
are.
have to
They
go
love
any
it.
farther than that. I've made my point.
I actually think that's a good point. Degens are gonna degen, and trust me, there's no online regulation.
No,
that
don't
you can put
bullshit
in
me. Don't
place.
bullshit me about no, because it's about expanding the customer base. So hold on, are you gonna be dishonest like a Bam? Are you gonna say that this doesn't expand the customer base? Online mobile phone gambling does not expand the customer base.
More
and then
people will be
possibly
online
find
mobile phone
more
gambling.
degens. Hold on, shut up. Oh, you already got your chance, Bam.
Ooh.
And more degens than previously. Correct, Captain A. Jones? You're gonna be honest here?
More degens.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
People
hold
who
on.
never made it to Vegas
Prime,
for some
Prime,
Indian
can I tell you
reservation or
something?
whatever.
Can I tell you something? So over the last millennia, 100, 200 years, the amount of financial instruments and ways that you can bet on the markets and just betting in general has grown, and the demand for it has grown. And and more people now are betting on stocks and betting on Forex or betting on online gambling or any of those other things than at any point in human history. And it's always been like that. Basically, the line always goes up. That's for the amount of things that we speculate on. There's cryptocurrencies now and all the NFTs and shit. You want to lose your money? There's a million different ways you can do it now.
Andrew, I'm mostly memeing, but like part of me does believe it. I do believe that people. I don't know. I do believe that people will like always find a way. Like I don't think you can ban this out. But I'm mostly memeing here. Like I do believe the apps are like problematic, and I think gambling is also kind of problematic. Just for clarification.
Oh, I got you dead to rights.
No, I literally just agreed with you. Yes, the amount of people so on a graph, if you chart over the amount of time, but that doesn't mean anything.
That's
so
the
you're only
important part,
right
is
about
that I
1
win.
point. But is that a bad thing for society? Like you haven't proven that it's actually a bad thing for society. So I don't know why you're sitting there all smug about it, because you haven't. You actually think you have?
You think
that you've proven that
you think if there's more people, hold on. Is this not because I was assuming the basics with you? Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Are you saying that if you have more higher
wait. You think
a higher customer base, there's a certain number of people within the population.
Have the courage to say that online gambling is bad and it's
fucking bad.
negative. I don't think that's true.
I also do that that for you?
I
It's
don't
bad.
think that's true.
It's BAD bad. Okay, moving on.
I don't think that's true.
If there's
So
a certain number of
clearly
people
at like
in the
a bit of an
population,
impasse here.
if there's a certain number of people within the population who will be a fucking degenerate, right? When
Yeah.
given the opportunity, and this expands the opportunity,
do you
does
think
this
that
not
drugs should be
give
legal?
more
Exactly, that's what I
people
wanted to
Do you
ask
think
you.
that drugs should be legal,
Don't
Frank?
distract us by fucking drugs,
Oh,
bro.
it's not
You're
the same
losing
thing.
your
It's
miserably
the
interest.
same
No,
thing.
Captain A. Jones. Captain A. Jones. Captain
You
A.
don't want to
Jones.
answer it. It's
Captain
because
A.
it
Jones. No,
completely
you're not fucking
contradicts-
answering my question, so I won't answer that yet. Right? So, Captain A. Jones. So, since if you're expanding the market, will you not find more degenerates?
Well, of
Yes,
course,
you
but
will.
that's
Okay, great,
As
thank
the
you.
human population goes up, you
Fucking
also
done.
find more
Holy
degenerates.
shit!
But wait,
Yeah.
but
like,
hold on.
there's
You need to
always-
answer about this drugs though. This is for real. Do you think that legalizing drugs is like gonna create more crackheads in society? Like, you think that that's the outcome we're gonna do, or do you?
Well,
Fucking
Yeah, I
yes,
think it will, yeah.
obviously, because I'm not a dumbass.
But you're
and
in
I'm
favor
not
of it?
dishonest.
But you're in favor of it?
Obviously,
But you're in favor.
yes, but in that yeah, absolutely, because in that
in
case, we can
that
give them a-
case, Prime, be consistent.
no,
Be
because the harm,
consistent.
no. Listen, the
Drugs
harm
should
of
be
making
legal
it
and so should
illegal in
gambling.
that fashion is greater. I don't think the harm is greater on the other side. That if you don't have access
Shooting
to sports
heroin is better
gambling-
than gambling?
No, Hunt. Nice try. Captain A. Jones.
See how I did that, right?
You're not
You
gonna
like
get
that,
me,
right?
right? Because I'm smarter than that. Like, so it ain't gonna happen. So let's try it again. Try to actually listen. Keep your fucking ears open. Let's do it again. All right. So the consequences for banning drugs, right, is that you have this a massive black market of drugs that still just as it's almost as ubiquitous if it happened to be legal, right? It's fucking everywhere.
And
We
you
can
think that
understand
wouldn't
that.
happen with
Drugs,
gambling?
hold on. That drugs have suffused America, and they're fucking everywhere, and you can still get your hands on them despite them being illegal. Captain A. Jones, can you
Oh, yeah,
can you
totally.
agree that
Avoid it.
Captain A.
I
Jones?
think that gambling is.
What do you
the same
have in your
exact
hands,
way.
Captain A.
afraid
Jones?
Yeah.
What
So,
you never leave your
Crime
fucking
fear.
fingers,
I do
Captain A.
agree.
Jones.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
No, but
good.
So,
So,
Well,
all right,
hold on,
I can.
hold on.
I'm not done answering the question. I'll keep going. Right. So
Okay,
we already agree on this. Great. So so
I think drugs are bad. I don't think they should be. I think they should be decriminalized. I'm not super in favor of legalizing because I do think that like drugs in particular, I just don't think there's a societal good of having like heroin at the local gas station. But that's different from weed. Like, I think weed should be legal.
putting them in jail, right, and then punishing them and ruining lives, right? I think that the harm done there is less than the harm done by having them as addicts, right? Like
It's too
having
nuanced.
a certain
No,
number of
that's
addicts
too
that
nuanced. You can't-
that
no.
we could
This is
instead
why-
that
this
we
is
can
why-
instead take treat them, as people suffering a chemical medical problem, right? And treat them humanely. Like that option where we treat them humanely, right? If they become an addict, is fantastic. I like that. Those same dynamics do not exist in fucking sports gambling. Those
Why not?
aren't the same. Just because you call them. Because of everything I just fucking described.
wait,
Did you not
there's
hear?
still-
Did you listen
no,
to
no,
hear
I don't
anything
see
that
why.
I
The
I
just
don't
said?
see how it
the
follows.
black market is
Dustin,
exactly the same.
check.
The-
Did I not describe a whole dynamics,
addiction
right?
exists
Specific
exactly
to drug
the same.
gambling.
You did. I was listening.
The problematic repercussions, like
Black
all of
American
those
Made
things,
was not
like the
listening.
jailing,
Apparently not.
the jailing, the black markets, the addiction, all of that exists exactly the same in both markets.
No,
Do we
no,
have?
no, absolutely not.
No, it
Absolutely
doesn't.
not.
Do we have a
No.
war on sports gambling? Do we have that?
But
That's
you,
why I
you're
just
asking
said this
for
was
it. That
too
you're trying to
nuanced.
start the
I don't-
war.
I
You
don't like how
degenerate.
nuanced
You
your
leading off the
argument is,
charge
Prem.
Oh my god.
of the war on sports gambling.
Well, hold on. No, because all my sports gambling is brand fucking new. It
You trying to
was in
stop it, right?
2018 or 2015. The Supreme Court struck. You didn't fucking listen to the shit that I gave you.
2018.
I gave you materials for this, and they told you it just like a few years, not even 10 years ago, it became legal.
Crack was new when Ronald
2018.
Reagan. Crack was new
2018.
when
What was
Ronald
happening
Reagan
before
started the
then?
war on drugs.
And 2018,
fresh out the
before
box.
2018, were we having a war on online sports gambling
Not 'cause
for online
Prime
sports
hasn't
people?
started it yet.
Was there a war on them? Were our prisons filled with people
That's what you're advocating
on the
for.
black market? Was that the case?
That's what
No,
you're
it wasn't.
asking for.
So stop being
Advocating
fucking
for.
dishonest.
You're asking
Holy
for that
shit.
now. You're saying that you want the.
No, I'm not. I'm saying go back to pre-2018.
So if people are caught gambling through online spaces,
No,
what's gonna happen?
online sports gambling.
What if-
Holy shit. Listen to a
What
fucking
happens
word
if,
that's
what
actually
happens if
said.
people are caught online sports gambling with the like black market websites? Where are they gonna happen? Are they gonna go to jail?
We shut down the online sports. You don't have to put. Why are you so dumb here? Well, you don't have to put the people who engaging it in jail. You put the people providing it. So if there's an app and a rogue app, then you shut down the app. You put those guys in jail, and not the people who have done the betting.
We've got
Obviously,
pretty good conviction rates on like online problems or like online legal issues as well.
That's
too.
actually how California is. So like a lot of people have the misconception that you can't do on
At this point, y'all just know that this is all a meme. At this point, this is way too fun. This is pick on Prime.
the betting. You have no issues. It's really just like the casinos. They have all the regulations. Like
Right.
you as the consumer, you don't have to worry about shit basically.
This was a fun time, man.
Prime was wrong.
Yeah,
Is it over? I guess.
I want to say that I completely disagree with Black American Made, even though I think we were trying to agree on like the same point. Basically, we made different. No, I'm sorry, I disagree. I have to.
You
disavow.
disavowing me?
Yep,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm pulling the black card. I'm calling. You're disappointed with me because I'm black.
So troll.
This is
You
racism.
You guys are the biggest trolls. Jesus fucking Christ. All right.
Roasty.
So
Yeah,
going back
actually, y'all, this is
to-
all
Game
a
goes
meme.
to Bam.
Prime was getting hot, and I was like, okay, let's just go for
Yeah,
it.
you can see like his
You guys-
the veins bulging in the forehead. No, so like I think we can agree that like the way sports betting is set up now is like probably kind of dangerous, and we need to come up with regulations for it. I don't think we should ban the practice outright because I think banning the practice outright just will cause like its own set of issues. I think if we just have like some fucking basic
Licenses.
rules, licenses, yeah, like for
You just keep advocating for these
businesses.
licenses, bro. Nobody
Yeah.
wants these. It's like the sixth time.
No.
Like, but
Oh, coming from you talking about how nobody's
Right.
gonna.
you got the.
Bet-
This is
nah.
a terrible idea.
You already had like the shit take of the night. Like
You
it's
just-
fine.
Bro, I'm
You just
telling you,
pulled that
we need
end
to
of the
get in
debate
on
shit.
these gambling scores. That's the business.
just-
That's the model.
Okay, I like the gambling scores too. Actually, I think the gambling scores is fucking fantastic.
You
We
just-
could actually make a business because that's like free market too,
Yeah.
right?
Oh god.
Like we could literally start
And we'll sell
a
them.
fucking business where we like track people's gambling records across like all the different
Yeah.
sports betting industries or
And they'll
whatever.
buy
You
it.
know,
We need a.
They would
coder.
buy it.
We need a code.
and the thing, yeah, I got like three,
No,
that's
the
fine.
people
I'll
who
work it out.
control gambling would buy it, but they'd probably keep all that like internal, right?
It doesn't
like, so
matter.
it would have
I
to
don't
be
care. I
public?
just want
No,
them
they
to buy
don't.
it from
No,
me.
they'll outsource the fuck out of this shit. They'll outsource the fuck out of it. We'll make a cool $1 million doing this shit. We probably should stop talking about it because there's probably people who are like better at business watching.
There's somebody in chat working on it right now. Since
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
since you're
literally.
busy being on the panel.
Up, man.
Oh, I know.
There
I
it
gotta
goes.
reach
They've
out
already
to
made
my,
the app. It's
Yep,
over.
they're out grinding
Yeah.
it up right now.
Yeah, they're
And
making
here
money.
you are.
Who made some money in porn with coding. I'm gonna reach out to that guy and say, hey, yo, I need you to make some sports betting credit score checking app shit.
Probably
Yeah.
gonna say I can only make veiny dick emojis. I'm sorry.
No.
That's the wrong guy.
He wasn't designing the.
We'll put you on pause. We may need you. That may be necessary. I don't know where.
Let's see where it goes.
He was
Yeah.
creating an algorithm for advertising in porn, and he used that to like make a shit ton of money.
Hmm.
So you could do that with you could basically create some bots to do the whole whatever. But yeah, no, I actually like the idea of a gambling score. I also like the idea of only for
credit
the
scores.
platforms some sort of licensing system where they are required to check in on folks with low gambling scores or whatever else, and you can audit them. That's the word I was looking for. Audit. You can audit those companies and make sure that they're following through.
You're
You know?
asking for that now.
I would
You're
I
saying
would
that
say
you-
it would wind up
I'm
being a
saying go
problem
back
because
to
it's not.
pre-2018.
This isn't something where you set
So if
like a
people- so people
statistical.
are caught gambling through
No,
online spaces,
online
what's gonna
sports gambling. Holy shit. Listen to a fucking
What
word that's
happens,
actually
if,
said.
what happens if people are caught online sports gambling through like black market websites? Where are they gonna happen? Are they gonna go to jail?
We shut down.
You're
So stop
asking
being
for
fucking
it.
dishonest. Holy
You're
shit.
asking for that now. You're saying that you
No,
want
I'm
the
not. I'm
gam-
saying go back to pre-2018.
So if people are caught gambling, through
No,
online spaces,
online sports gambling. Holy shit! Listen to a fucking word that's actually said.
What happens if people are caught online sports
Gambling
gambling
level,
through like black market
right?
websites?
So in the case of sports gambling, there's not really a way to set that up, right? So it's going to be very different.
I mean, what's if someone wanted a 10,000 to 1 odds or some shit like that, someone would have to take the fucking bet, right?
Exactly. There's
Like-
always somebody who's losing on the other end of that bet. That's what we keep kind of forgetting. Like, oh, you want to put all your money in on some crazy whatever bet? Like, yeah, well, somebody's going to take that probably because it's a safe bet for them to take.
Mhm.
But you
Oh
know,
man, what's on your
that's
face?
not always the case.
That's his
Shouldn't
face.
somebody lose?
That's what his face looks like.
Oh
I
my
have
god, it's the eye massager thing. What the fuck? You actually have that?
I have an
Looks
eye
like VR.
massager on right now, and I'm listening to you guys, but right now I am in the third dimension.
That
So-
device is literally squeezing the shit out of his eyes and like blasting
I'm
with heat.
so
He's gonna be a
happy.
I feel like
blind
that's
man.
something
so
that
happy.
you're gonna get like money for having used in
Holy
like 5
shit.
years when your eyes fall out.
Yeah,
He's
that
gonna
was
get, like-
a
So happy.
commercial.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
You won't
You
be
or
happy
someone
when you
you
start
love.
subbing to channel, yo. But that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. All
You know
right,
what?
back to
Get back to it, please. Thank you.
yeah, no, so I think like going back to pre-2018, like there's no reason not to go back to pre-2018. I think that's like a reasonable
Go
choice.
back.
I also think we could find ways of preventing this from getting out of hand. Like I do like pushing for more freedoms as long as we add regulations to make those freedoms not go out of control. You know what I mean?
Can you think about some regulations that would kind of help monitor this? Because kind of what I was saying is the problem. Like,
Well, I mean, I think the
regulation end up being like you can't take 1,000 to 1 odds. Like,
No, I mean
I think the
regulation isn't like on the odds that the individuals takes. Like that's the wrong kind of regulation. I think the regulation needs to be on the business itself, right? So like businesses are required if someone is like clearly showing signs of gambling addiction to take those individuals and pull them off, right? And give them like, the therapy or the help that they need, right? Like there needs to be some sort of like recourse on the behalf of the people or the government to keep these businesses from taking all the money from certain individuals and not giving something back,
So
right?
we would ban
Like these
sports
individuals are
games.
gonna lose a shit ton of money, and like maybe there needs to be like free Gamblers Anonymous access or free therapy or just they're not allowed to gamble anymore anywhere, shit like that, right? Like
I mean,
but it
no,
would be-
man, you can't do that. You're removing a lot of fucking autonomy from people at this point because you're so worried about them and you're treating them like children.
Well,
Like,
I mean-
Well, I mean,
exactly
we do
my
that now. We
problem.
don't
Like,
let people sell themselves into slavery.
shouldn't-
Like we
Regulation-
decide.
Well, you can't sell yourself into
What's
slavery.
What's with the
Like, period.
insane, like
We're not
going
treating like
to
children.
hyperbolic
Because that's where we go.
example.
We go there.
No,
We're not
no,
treating them
that's
like children.
not-
Fundamental
Can we, like-
possibility.
Can we
Well,
actually
Can we
not?
just like can we be honest though? Like intellectual honesty means not referring to us treating people like children when we're like creating protective regulations for people who are going to harm themselves. Like yeah, we are taking away the independence of folks
I mean,
who
but-
are not able to control themselves. That's not treating them like children. That's just like
it is.
well, no, not necessarily. I would say it'd be the other way around in a sense, right? Like anyone who's having a hard time controlling themselves, get rules placed upon
So-
them to keep them from hurting themselves, whether that's
I
a
mean,
child
people. You
or
have to,
an
no,
adult
that's not
who
true.
has a gambling addiction
People
or
are
someone with an
free-
alcohol addiction.
People
So,
are
I was
free
about
to
to say,
accept the
bars have to cut
consequences.
people
No,
off.
people are free to accept the consequences of
Right.
their actions.
So,
even if
like,
it's
to
harmful.
increase free-
You don't
so
have the
if
right
you-
to take away people's rights because you're more worried about them than
Yeah,
they
if
are.
you're increasing someone's freedom to do things, like we're adding freedoms here. We're saying, okay, you know what, sports
You're not
betting
adding
you're
a
allowed.
freedom.
No, we added a freedom to allow
How?
sports betting, but the fucking
It's an inherent freedom. It's an inherent
No,
freedom
it
for two
wasn't,
people to do this.
because in 2017 you weren't allowed to do this.
Just because someone made a law against it doesn't mean that it's like. I mean, if they have the right to do it, they make a law to restrict
no.
it. But that doesn't mean it was never. It's not
No,
your
no,
right.
no, but I mean, no.
Well,
if there was a law
previously you
that
just had to-
exists, then you don't have the
previously
right
all
to
you
do it until the law is removed.
Previously, really, just
You have the right.
You
A
just
law
needed
can
a
violate a
VPN.
right.
Yeah,
All
I
you
was
needed
gonna.
was a VPN.
No, I mean,
By the way,
No, a law can't violate a right.
No, I
Exclamation
feel like hold
point,
on.
Lord.
Before we go there, like I feel like
if
I just
a
gave
law
really
is
great
violating a
example.
right, the courts would decide that the law is violating the
And they
right,
did.
and then it's
Dang.
stricken from the record. But not
And
just
it's been
that.
done.
Anybody who has been put in jail for the law. Sorry, I just need to nail this. I don't mean to cut you off, Bam. If a law is decided to be violating a right, the law is taken off the books, and anybody who's been persecuted by that law are freed from jail or whatever consequences they had for violating the law, right? Like,
Yes.
I feel
that's
like
what
you
happened.
definitely no,
So
I
it
feel like
is-
you were
hold
not.
on,
so
hold
it's
on,
handled
Mad, hold on. I feel like you definitely meant to cut off. But I'm just saying, I feel like you
He
definitely
did.
meant to
He
cut
did.
him off. You
All right, I
apologize
apologize.
for
I
it.
cut you off, Sam, on purpose because I needed to address this point, which is that
Look, now he got to do it again.
laws retroactively.
Yo,
Okay,
yo.
no, I just do really want to say, like, I think I
Go ahead.
actually felt like I made a really
me a head shake.
analogous point, like the concept of bars have a bars have a obligation that, like, if you come in, you're already drunk, they're not supposed to allow you to drink, and they have a legal obligation to cut you off if they feel like you're too drunk. Like, why?
Sure.
Like, so this, like, saying that, like, people should have a freedom to do so. I think we can. Like, we obviously understand the concepts of freedom having thresholds, and I think that can be applicable to
Yeah,
gamblers.
so you would want to put the onus on
course.
the institution performing the duty to sit there and say, the broker has to notice. I don't think it would be impossible. Just trying to picture how it would actually work.
They would have to
Yeah,
buy our gambling scores.
Well, yeah, because
They would
it's
be
working
obligated.
against it's working against their self-interest. Like, they want
Yeah.
you to sit there and spend more money. Like,
Correct.
and then you're
Well-
asking them to say, like, no, it's the same exact thing as the bars, which
Yeah,
is why,
I would-
like, bars, you can go to a bar and get shit-faced fucking drunk,
yeah,
and then walk out with your keys.
and I
Happens
would say
literally all the time. Like,
I would say
come
that
on.
most people would probably agree that typically bartenders don't want you fucking dying in their bars, right? Just
Yeah,
like on a
of
human
of course
level.
they don't. But at the same time, as long as you're not displaying, like, see, here's
There's
my
a clear
problem, is
difference
that-
between a bar and like
So
an
hold-
online
hold-
gambling
hold-
app, though, right?
So,
like
but-
at the
but-
bar,
so here's my
you're
problem.
there.
It's very hard to make a regulation like this because so many
Yeah.
people have so many different types of income and or
Right.
ways and means that they live. Like, just because
Right.
you don't have an income doesn't necessarily mean you don't have hella fucking money. You know what I mean?
Right,
Just because you don't have anything taxable, just because you don't, you maybe don't have that big of a paper trail, doesn't mean you
Right.
don't have plenty of fucking money.
should probably
And
be
so,
illegal
like,
too, though,
it's
if you don't have a
really,
paper
I just
trail.
don't see like any regulation that you can. Maybe this is just me being limited and
Well,
narrow-minded, but I don't see a regulation that you could make that I wouldn't sit there and say is probably unfair.
Well, if you don't
Well,
have a paper trail,
no,
and you
it's
wanna
not
And so
gamble,
far,
probably
I
you
haven't.
pay
And
more
so
taxes.
far, so far, I think most of the ideas floated have been those that I would call unfair, like the licenses. I think that's just clearly unfair. Like,
okay.
how
So let's talk about
I
the difference
don't like
between a bar and an online thing real quick, just so we're clear. Like, people are gonna die in bars because they're at the bar. Like, if there was like an online alcohol distributor that was, like, sending out shots like DoorDash style, like,
They do now.
another round. Well, no, I mean, like, literally, like, instantaneous,
Hey,
like,
this
magic.
is another
like,
great app. Another round.
I know.
Oh
I
my
want to
God.
make this happen too.
Damn,
By the way,
dude.
we should totally do that. Like, just imagine those floating like fucking like robots just like everywhere with like shots built in, and you can just like
The name
hold
is
out your.
great too.
Another round.
But anyway,
And, like, I have
Yeah.
no problem with a rich person wanting to spend their money, and I also don't have a problem with, like, hold on, what's the cap? Let's say somebody's making $30,000 a year. They're in the lower income bracket. What's the
Yeah.
cap for how much
No.
money they should be able to spend on gambling? Like,
No.
what do we got to go into? How many kids they have? How many?
I
Um,
don't
like,
think that,
what are
I
they
don't
paying
think
in, like? I
the
just don't.
point
I don't
is,
know.
if you
I
think
see
don't
that's
problematic
foresee.
gambling patterns,
regulation that
You're
he's
tithing.
proposing. I don't think it's like a cutoff spending threshold.
yeah, it's not a cutoff spending threshold. It's like literally, if you see problematic behaviors, like problematic, like there's like you could actually use statistics to identify who your problematic gamblers are, right? Like, it's just all a
No.
bunch of fucking math.
No,
Wait,
No?
is it though?
no, you couldn't because one.
Wait, is
you're-
somebody
you're
a
running
problem gambler because they play a lot?
Maybe they add
No.
more money to their accounts repeatedly, for
Or is it
example.
because
Right,
they, or is it
well, that-
because
Like
they
that
bet
type
money
of
that they
pattern.
can't afford to
Right, but that's-
lose?
Well, no, I mean, you can
And-
tell like with the problematic. Now, it's not
There's a big difference
no,
though.
like so for example, if someone's a problematic gambler, what usually happens, they start off real small. They're like, all right, I'm gonna bet $20. And then they lose the $20. They're like, okay, I better double or nothing to get my money back. Here's $40. Okay, here's $80. Here's $1,000. Like, it starts scaling up. So like, you
Okay,
can actually see the track pad, or you can see like the path of what they're doing based on their day-to-day operations, right?
Right.
So like, let's say you have a daily limit. So they put in $200 on that day one, right?
Mhm.
And then the next day they're putting in more money, and they're putting in more money, and putting in more money. And it looks like they're struggling to keep up with the money they're putting in. That would
There's the
be a
problem.
red flag,
Hold on,
right?
stop. Like right there when you said it looks like
That's what becomes the problem.
Well, no, because it's not going to be a foolproof system. Obviously, you can't perfectly decide. So you're going to have to, like, decide to, cut some people off or make them go through training when they don't need it necessarily. That's going to happen. You can't have a perfect system. No regulation is going to be picture perfect. Oh, man, we're going to make sure everybody has their freedoms while the folks who are actually suffering are going to get, taken care of. You just have to, kind of weigh the pros and cons and then choose, what cons you're going to embrace. And I think if someone is losing a lot of money, just pouring money into the gambling app, and they have a pattern of problematic gambling, it looks like, there's a perfectly fine con to have where they're going to have to go through Gamblers Anonymous for a week or two.
I mean,
or whatever.
The thing is, that's up to them and the people and their family and stuff. And it's you don't. It's weird. Who do you think's making this decision?
What I'm saying is, while you may even set the daily limit, I think you would have to stop there because you can't. In the system, let's say I'm Caesars and I'm monitoring somebody playing the game, right? The slots on your phone. Each day you come in and you spend X amount of dollars. If I find out that individual loser who keeps fucking losing and spending all that money is Bill fucking Gates, for whatever fucking reason, that's not problematic.
I also just think it's. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So, but if it's Joe Blow who's not feeding his fucking kids, right? That would be problematic. But I don't have access to that information. All I know is on this sheet that I'm looking at, every day this person logs in and immediately deposits X amount of dollars consistently. And then they either lose or win based upon whatever the percentage is. And then they go on and the following day they do the same thing. You don't have access to that individual's income.
They do the same thing every day. That's not a problem. That wouldn't be a problem at all. I would say if they're adding extra money each day because they keep losing.
So
right?
You would just.
But I'm saying, what if they actually did require it though? What if to access before you make a big bet, you could do small time betting, $1,000, and that's not even small for some people, $1,000, $2,000.
Yeah, the numbers are.
But I'm saying, if you did small time betting, is standard. But if you want to use one of these apps and you want to make a huge deposit, what if it requires I don't know, you upload your W-2 or something, you show some form of income proving showing
that's like an invasion of privacy though on some level too,
right? Please, can we just please point out how insanely invasive it would be to have to, if I wanted to go to a fucking casino, put down my goddamn income tax statements. I would rather have number on them.
So I would obviously rather have the con where someone is from a problem.
Well, I have to put out my W-2.
No,
I have to
we're talking about for big. I mean, but I feel like people who make do the high rollers probably do have different levels of buy-ins. I don't think they're not gonna let. If you go to a real life casino, they're not gonna let anybody walk into the high rollers room just because
in a real life casino. But I'm saying high rollers have a better status. They'll be a platinum status.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying you should have.
Yeah, but so you want everyone to have to go through the
not everyone.
standards.
I'm specifically talking about proving that you're a high roller.
Well, but who cares about high rollers? It's not about high rollers losing their fucking money. That's not what we're talking about.
If you're making a $50,000 bet, you may be a high roller. You need to be a high roller to make a $50,000 bet.
So okay, all right. I'm gonna take your idea.
Makes you a high roller.
No, I got a better idea. All right, I'm gonna take your idea, and I'm gonna reapply it and make it better. All right, ready? All right, we got this. So let's say we do this thing where you have the gambling problem and you are going to have to take your Gamblers Anonymous therapy, whatever the fuck, right? You can choose to buy yourself out, which would prove that you're a high roller. You could say, okay, I will pay $5,000.
Okay,
this sounds worse. That sounds
worse. That's like a fucking. You're like the guy that's we should open up a gambler's addiction center in the casino, and then they can buy their way back to the game floor. You're a fucking
get out of jail free.
But to get into the rehab, you got to play. The doors is actually.
You can buy your way out of rehab.
That's perfect. Wonderful device.
Give us more money. You have a problem spending money. But if you give us money, we won't say anything.
It's brilliant.
That's genius, dude.
And those fees can be used to pay for the Gamblers Anonymous therapy for folks who can't afford it.
We should go to businesses
Sorry,
and knock
came
things
up
over and
lemon,
offer them
No
protection.
treatment for you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Or maybe
Oh my
actually,
god.
yeah,
it should be a
actually,
raffle.
maybe
It should
maybe
be a
there should be a
raffle.
threshold. Maybe
Oh,
maybe it's not even
no.
like a W-2. Maybe like if you are a high roller, like maybe like again like this kind of follows into the same route of like the gambling number. Like maybe you have like a high roller card, like a high roller like a number, like and if you're
$100,000 with a high roller card, right?
yeah,
Well,
It's like a
what
big,
we-
like a fat,
and
like,
if you're
know,
gonna have an account of that level, like you put in, you have to register your number. Like this
As-
guy's a high roller.
as
I feel like
a-
it costs
Right.
a membership for
Regulation to
gambling.
protect the fucking rich. Wow, amazing, guys. We've come up with the most useless fucking regulation that we could possibly think
because
of.
if you're not rich, if you
Amazing.
don't have the money, if you're not high roller, if you just like your
Oh
mom
my
died and you came into this like one check
Well,
and
I'm
you're
high
probably
roller.
about to waste it, like you don't have a high roller card, you can't make that big.
So
of a
they
bet
have
all at once.
100,000. Okay. I'm lost here.
So just
I'm
like
lost.
just
This
to tell you-
regulation is worse than I don't know what sort of
We're getting
regulation.
there.
here
I'm
that
telling
you
you,
don't
we're
like.
working at the kinks. This is how good
We're getting
businesses start. This is how we
We're
we
working
come
out
to
the
the
app.
table.
This is the app.
And then when we get out of here, we're gonna have a working app. We're gonna.
This is the worst brainstorming meeting over Zoom that I could possibly think of. This is
The world
horrendous.
will never be the same, dude.
Somebody's gonna make one of these
okay.
apps, and you're gonna be pissed that we didn't put in.
So you may feel a little slighted, but when I was working there, we did not ask for high rollers W2s. What happened was, and this will probably piss you off even more, is it just depends on how much money they came in and spend. Like you'd spend X amount of dollars and you go up a card level, and then X more amount of dollars you go up a card level. And the idea of catching a problematic gambler, that's not the right system, correct? Because there would be no like technical limit until the person like mortgages their house. So identifying problematic gamblers, while it is possible,
Via app
as far
is
as-
really hard.
right? It's going to be hard because if we're putting the liability upon the company to identify those things, as opposed to offering those services of addiction counseling and everything like that, and offering to ban them from our platform, like we could even say that would be the extended offer that would always be an option. It becomes problematic because you're still relying on the person to like admit that they have a problem.
And also, like, think about it
What if
like
they
this.
file
Like,
for
let's say,
bankruptcy?
oh, they have access to your bank account. Well, guess what? I have 3 bank accounts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's kind of fucked up, though.
Can I
What?
But what if you like file for bankruptcy, or you have like some level of like, I don't know, well, maybe not debt. Like debt isn't necessarily a bad thing, but if you file for bankruptcy, like you can't, which that would be like a really small percentage of people actually file for bankruptcy, but that would help some, that would stop something.
I mean,
Like, oh yeah, you can't apply for this app. It's showing that you recently filed for bankruptcy. You ain't got
Alright,
money to be betting, dog.
I think we got it. Oh man.
All the
It
way back
sounds
to credit.
so
All the way
disappointing.
back to
These are
credit
great
scores.
ideas. I don't even understand what you're saying.
No, no.
we're
so
getting-
literally
I mean, we're
just
gonna do it.
credit score idea.
We did it
We're
again.
gonna start the gambling
Oh,
score. We're gonna
Yeah.
start
Oh
creating
my God.
licenses for people who want to avoid gambling therapy.
Mhm.
Roadman's gonna
Finish
sub to my channel because the Rams are gonna win.
And then we're gonna do another.
I'm holding
round.
you to this, by the way, Roadman.
like
You better
5
fucking
apps.
sub to my channel when the Rams
Whoa.
win.
Wait. That
Yeah.
that eye massager that I just did.
Dude, your eyes are bleeding right now.
Oh my god, dude!
I would start
I'm
calling
so-
you like Sasuke Uchiha because your eyes
I'm
are fucking like.
I'm
just
so
fuck-
happy right now, dude.
Dude,
like,
it made
like,
your eyes super shiny or something.
can I?
There's
Can I?
like,
Can,
I'm not
can
sure
I-
you're supposed to have
can I-
that happen.
Can I drop a link in the chat? Like this shit is so. I'm gonna cry right now, bro.
Sponsored.
This
I'm
is
not
fucked up.
sponsored. I'm telling you, this shit is so good, dude. I'm gonna drop a link. in the chat.
hashtag not an ad.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Raid
Okay.
Shadow Legends.
Prime's like, please shut the fuck up.
All right.
No.
This is what
So,
happens. You brought your brightest
I,
minds together, Prime.
Let's get this shit done. I
Holy
Mm.
shit! I feel
I'm
so
gonna-
good.
Brento,
do you have an
a
outro?
Twitter?
Twitter? I have a Twitter, but I don't use it. I should start using it. I do have a Twitch.
Cool.
And you don't use that either.
Oh, I've been using it
Yeah.
more.
Oh, this.
Oh, okay. Any which way. So thanks all for being here. We are going to an open panel right after this, so stick around. We have more content coming your way. If you've stumbled upon this channel, been enjoying yourself, hit that follow button. Hit that follow button right now. Make sure notifications are on so you know I'm going live. We do 6 nights a week. Don't want you to miss out on any of the content that we provide. Exclamation point social and chat for our social media. We got your Twitters where we tweet. We have Discord, Heart and Soul of the Community. We'll have that open panel in Discord, so be there for that, and also our offline conversations. It's a great part of our community. We really want you to be there. So head up our Discord. YouTube is where we find the bots. If you miss any of this, oh boy, if you miss any of this, then hit up our YouTube to see that VOD and see everything else. Like, comment, subscribe, and consider becoming a YouTube member to support us that way, to keep that YouTube up and running, hitting that join button and becoming a member. All right, thank you so much. I'm going to give an outro to each of these individual people, but we will still have content right afterwards. So again, no reason to leave. We'll start with Mad Latin, my man. I'm so happy. Seriously, I'm like ecstatic that you are here today. It's been a while since you've been able to join us, and I've missed you. Like seeing you here has like reminded me like how much I miss you. So thank you, buddy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. So Mad Latin, I stream. I'm streaming a lot more often. This is happening. That's me shouting myself out. In a week, I'm starting a new Twitch show with Tech Jess from Blizzard. This is the first time people are going to know the name of the show. I'm announcing it right here, right now, and it's this. So like, there's no. Oh wait, fuck! I did that wrong.
Yeah, got it.
I did the thing. I did the thing wrong.
Do it right. Just go do it.
So, please sub to this thing or follow this thing because it's going to be really, really awesome. There's no followers yet. You guys can be one of the first 50. We want to hit that affiliate and just like launch this show as fast as possible. So if anybody could follow that, that would be fantastic. You guys should sub to Prime and donate bits to Prime. By the way, Prime, I donated 1,000 bits to mute Lauren Southern last night, and that was not possible. Can I choose someone random to mute tonight?
Sure.
Okay. You sound very enthusiastic about this.
No, it's fine. I was busy trying to get to your channel.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's called the Weekly Stand Up. Yeah.
Okay, no, keep going. Yeah.
So yeah, it's called the Weekly Stand Up. Every week there's going to be an interview with someone who's in game development or a worker who's doing stuff with their union. We're going to do some interviews. We're going to be talking shop. People will be able to ask questions. It's going to be a really good show. We're even doing tech rehearsals for it, which is exciting. I've never done tech rehearsals for things. This is like legit, like LA, like professional shit. And like one of the people that are involved in this project actually does stuff for G4 TV. So it's going to be like really, really fancy lights, bells, and whistles, and all that shit. So give it a follow. We'll be doing stuff every other week or so, something like that. But our first episode is February 20th. Don't miss out.
Okay. Well, I just followed. You should too. Links in chat. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. So thank you so much. All right, moving on. We have Black American Made here with us once again. Bam. I want to apologize. I shouldn't call people's intelligence into question. I just was tilted. I was unbelievably tilted. So,
it's okay. Yeah,
but
chat. Whenever Prime hit me up, he said, "Bam, please come spread your intelligence for the chat. I beg of you. There's no one else can do it. You're the one we need." And I came to Prime's rescue, and everyone, like I said, everyone here is a little bit better from seeing my presence. You're all welcome. Prime, this is your last one for free. Like after this, the price is going up from here. This is A1 content. Like I'm telling you, I'm giving out apps, I'm giving out development, and if you guys want the exclusive, you can follow me on Twitter and YouTube at Black American Made, because this is A1 type content right here.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Boji, out there, for being so kind for a 1 year Tier 2 sub. Oh, wow, this is beautiful. All right, yeah, it is our anniversary. It's super romantic. Um, that's the only way I would describe it, Boshi. Thank you, Boshi. If we get 2 more individual tippers and start some hype train, which would be amazing. But thank you, Boshi, for that.
Oh yeah,
Okay, next
Prime.
we'll
We
go.
make people watch it. Like people come to watch us have black on black crime. we have to do better. Okay.
I think that's definitely part of it. Thank you so much, though. Roadman.
Thank you, Prime, for having me on this panel. I had a experience right now with this eye massager. I don't know what's going on. Like Twitch TV / Roadman. Follow me. My wife does charcuterie boards. Like, bro, I'm in a new world right now, bro. Let's go. Go ahead.
Okay. Fantastic. That's the thing that happened. Let's go to Redheaded Man. Redheaded Man, brand new to this community. So thank you for coming through and being part of this. Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, no, I always do. It seems like you guys have an amazing community here that I always get enjoy my chance to shoot the shit with. So, thank you very much. I appreciate you for having me on.
Okay, thank you. Next, Captain A. Jones. We'll have to wait for a second. Thank you, Boshi, for gifting 10 hot tier 1 gifts up to the channel. Unbelievable. Holy crap. Thank you. Guys, if we get 2 more individual tippers, like very quickly, we can start some hype train in a great position. We need 2 more individual people to help us out. Sub to the channel, gift bits or gift subs. But thank you, Boshi. 433 subs in total. Thank you, Boji. Much appreciated. Guys, help us out. Help us get this hype train started. We need 2 more people. Boji can't do it alone. So 2 more people. Help out the channel. Sub to the channel. Give bits or give subs. Let's go to Captain A. Jones.
Yo, yeah, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's always fun to shoot the shit on these panels. This one actually felt like a little bit less feisty than maybe we normally have, although I really like the back and forth between me and Prime. I think that's like 2 intellectual titans going up at it, against each other. 2 just absolutely gorgeous human beings, just really proving what it's like to be on a panel. No, seriously though, thank you for having me
And then
on.
a little guy scurrying in between us, right? Pick up fight. I want to fight too. I'm talking to you, Bam. Anyway,
seriously though, thanks for having me on. I'm doing a new show. It's called Pothead Politics. It's at 2 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's fun. It's a new show. You should come by. It doesn't compete with anybody that matters, i.e. primecayes. So you should come by. You should drop me a follow. I'm gonna put my links and shit in the chat. And thanks for having me on.
That's a great name.
Thank you. And got one more tipper. Help us out. Thank you, LJ Steele, for gifting a sub. One more person starts out in a great hype train. Help out the channel. Support the channel. This is how I do it. Like, I do it with your support. If without the support, can't keep the content. So be so kind. Help us out. Sub to the channel. Give bits or give subs. All right. Bento Box.
Hey.
Hey, buddy. Thank you. I guess I haven't had you here on a closed panel for a little bit. It's not like I don't want to.
No, I know. I just I haven't been doing them, and thank you. Sometimes I just don't respond because I'm a dick, I guess. Sorry, but yeah, thank you for the invite, man. I appreciate it. It was fun. It was a good conversation.
I think it was a great conversation. Yeah. But...
Yeah, and I've been streaming more. I have my stream on mostly when I'm on your panel, but I'm also kind of wandering around Discord a little more, like just surfing Discord while I'm streaming. So that's been pretty fun. So if you ever see me on, hop in.
Yeah, dude. Bento Box is a guy I really do appreciate. And again, I keep saying it. Happy that he's part of the community. Right, adds a lot. He's added a lot over this, like ever since he's gotten here. Right, so like almost the entire length of the stream. So thank you, Bento Box, and thanks to the rest of all of you. Right, thank you for being here. We are going to go into our open walk on panel right after this, right? Well, it's like you guys who sing at home, join us, right? Anyone hear us can also join us, but if not, that's okay. Thanks for spending your time, your energy, your knowledge, and your passion, your your irritants with me. I know my audience appreciates just as much as I do. Have a good one. Bye. God,
Oh,
that,
Brent,
that,
are we doing that thing? By the
that
way?
Bam guy is gone,
What?
guys. All right, I think this game's gonna continue.
Go.
This was elite content.
Go. Oh, you want to play Go?
Oh
We're
my
supposed to
God.
do that, right? You're
We
gonna
are
show me
supposed to
Go.
do that. Yeah, I'll show
okay.
you how to play Go.
My
So-
chat
You
ended
want to
up
come on my
It's gonna be
stream and
bit,
we can
but,
do it
like,
sometime? That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
I'd be happy to do it. It might be like a month out though. We've been waiting a long time. I just wanted to get.
Yeah.
I haven't forgotten.
No, that's fine. I haven't been waiting. It's just a thing that we said we're gonna do, and we will.
Hey,
Okay,
mad
cool.
lad, Bengals
Yeah.
win. You're subbing to me.
Right, but if the Rams win, you're subbing to me, right?